IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with on-demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Hey Indiana, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome to the Selleck Bowl, home of college football's Butler Bulldogs, and tonight, host of Indianapolis Cathedral and Bishop Chatard. Always a highly touted rivalry. Tonight should be a good one. Nathaniel Finch, Tony Donahue. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local hometown John Deere dealer since 1955. 5 Central Indiana locations, Reynolds meets all your equipment parts and service needs. By Boilermakers Local 374, representing skilled workers across Indiana. Discover the Boilermaker advantage with Local 374. By Bertner Electric. Spark with confidence, your trusted electrical partner since 1986. By Wheeler Mission, helping our neighbors in need since 1893, thanks to generous, caring individuals like you. By the Morales Group Staffing, building better futures one story at a time. Let us help you find your next opportunity. By LifeWise Academy, bringing Bible education to public school students during school hours. Learn more at lifewise.org. By LiUNA, the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages, safer job sites, and greater opportunity. And finally, by the IndianaSRN sports page, sports from border to border and coast to coast, your source for high school and college sports coverage. Nathaniel Finch and Tony Donahue, welcome to the Selleck Bowl, the iconic venue here in Indianapolis, in what should be an absolutely fun matchup. Cathedral and Chatard, both coming into the season with the highest of expectations. Chatard, obviously 3-0, top of the class in 4A, and they play a Cathedral team that has maybe underwhelmed a little bit this year. You're 1-2 on the year. You've only scored 1 touchdown. It came on the opening drive of the season. It should be a fun one, but Chatard and Cathedral, it's always a fun one.
Yeah, and I think, when you're a kid playing CYO football, you're growing up, you went to this game as a kid. You haven't missed this. This is the 51st time these two teams have met, and doing it here at Butler, where a lot of these players may have aspirations to play over the next couple of years. This is as big of a rivalry as it gets in the state of Indiana, especially here in Indianapolis, as we know. And throw the records out, right, because Cathedral has played against teams that are probably going to be playing football in November. And St. X last week that we saw down at UIndy, Brownsburg, a generational football team right now. Ben Davis is a really good football team as well. So throw the records out. Chatard's been playing well. Obviously took care of Roncalli last week, 33-11. Another one of those CYO type games. These players know each other. They've been playing with each other since they were 8, 9, 10 years old. Heck, they're probably even in the same neighborhoods growing up. So this is one that you will get up for, and I think we're going to see A-plus efforts on both sides.
Excited to see how this one pans out. Let's start by talking about the Trojans. Chatard 3-0 on the season, coached by Rob Doyle now in his 9th season. And boy, he has some weapons on offense. Doyle just every single year produces with this squad. They've brought home some type of hardware every season but one when he's under the helm.
Yeah, I love their head coach, obviously from Northwest Indiana, where I'm from. Doyle's been doing it for a long time. His 9th season here, knows how to get it done, knows how to make those adjustments, as does Bill Peebles for Cathedral, which we'll talk about. But Chatard is a team that can beat you both ways, through the air and on the ground, and I think they're going to look to be two-dimensional tonight, while on the other side, Cathedral's going to look to establish that run game early with their big, dominant offensive line.
Let's take a look at some of these players to watch, and it's brought to you by Beatty Insurance, a company which understands your industry and what's on the line for you. Call Lance, 812-522-5640. We continue with Chatard. We start with the quarterback, Jack Harrington, who missed the first 2 weeks to injury, but boy, can he throw the football. He had a passing touchdown last week. He had a rushing touchdown last week.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, and he's moving the chains, right? 10 yards per completion. So every time they step back to throw the football, they're moving the chains. And what did we see with Cathedral last week? They had a hard time of staying in front of the chains. It was an incompletion on first down, a run for 2 yards on second down, which sets you up for third down and 8. So when you're throwing like Harrington is, so we saw had a great year last year, when you're throwing for 10 yards of completion, you're Rob Doyle. You'll take that any day of the week.
You look at who runs this offense, and that is the star running back, Danny Adams. He's got nearly 500 yards on the year through 3 games. Are you kidding me? 9 touchdowns through 3 games. He is incredible.
Yeah, didn't play a lot last week either. That game was about out of hand. Had himself a nice little rest. But, yeah, as you mentioned, 164 yards last week, 2 touchdowns. This kid keeps those legs churning for those extra yards, and you see that on paper, 71 carries, almost just shy of 500 yards on a season. He'll certainly surpass that tonight to get over the 500-yard rush here so early on in the season, well on his way for 1,000.
Yeah, you will hear plenty from Danny Adams today, the junior running back. Boy, he is so talented. He's got his quarterback, Jack Harrington, as we mentioned. And here it looks like it's time to head down for the national anthem, and we'll do that. It's IndianaSRN.
The Cathedral Pride of the Irish Marching Band, led by senior drum major Mary Eifert. Here is our national anthem.
Can you mute me, please? Can you? There is the national anthem. We'll step aside for a matter of moments and bring you Cathedral's preview here on IndianaSRN.
Tonight's matchup between the Trojans of Bishop.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Nathaniel Finch and Tony Donahue from the Selleck Bowl, the home of the Butler Bulldogs, and tonight we've got a great one. It's Cathedral, it is Chatard, and let's start by taking a peek at what Cathedral brings on offense, led by the head coach Bill Peebles. He's been here for 8 years. Boy, was he a mainstay at Southport before that. He knows the Indianapolis area, and he has been incredible.
Yeah, this is the Cathedral team. Look, I mean, these kids are playing in their backyard. A lot of them grew up in these neighborhoods, obviously right down the road, right down Kessler to Chatard, right down Kessler past Chatard is Cathedral. These kids know each other. If you're Cathedral, you have to do the opposite of what you did last week. If you're going to throw the football, you have to make high percentage throws. St. X put them in situations, took away the passing lanes, did not allow them those high percentage looks. So if you're going to throw the football on first down, we're looking for quick short outs, quick screen passes to try to get moving out in space to gain yards.
Tell you what.
Yeah, go ahead.
This two-headed running back duo for Cathedral certainly going to make life easier on the quarterback Cam Coors. We'll get to Coors in a moment, but how about the starting running back Xavier Dangerfield? We'll get to Jimmy Pappas in a minute, but Dangerfield, such an elusive, such an electric player.
Yeah, 53 carries and 50 carries for their two running backs for a total of 216 yards. I mean, they're very two-headed monsters, right? And you don't know which back is. You'll see some sets where both are in the backfield, and I want to see some misdirections if I'm Coach Peebles. I want to see, try to go one way and then block the other way. Try to get some of those holes and establish that running game early, because this game is going to come down into the trenches. Who can get that running game going to set up that offensive passing game with the play action and try to move that football down the field? And we saw it too many times last week with Cathedral. They were not ahead of the sticks. They got themselves into 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, 3rd and longs. I mean, we're in the middle of one of the worst offensive sets for Cathedral. It's been since 1980, where they've only scored 14 points in the first 3 games. So let's see if they can get that turned around here tonight, wearing the awesome home green jerseys.
With those golden domes, it's Dangerfield, the All-State player from a year ago, but he's got Jimmy Pappas, who comes in and can play lights out as that spell. He's got over 200 yards on the season, still looking for a touchdown as most of this offense is, but Pappas and Dangerfield, what a two-headed duo. You see Dangerfield there on your screen. It should make life easier for Cam Coors, who we saw him last week. You only complete 5 passes. It's going to be interesting to see how this offense is called, like you mentioned. See if we can get some shorter passes, kind of get the confidence of Coors. But I think once you get into the end zone, any of these players, it's going to open up the floodgates.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Dangerfield, maybe you send him in motion for a little shovel pass to get things started. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, you see it here, all the younger players that are playing CYO football that have dreams of playing here on a Friday night with the Trojan on their helmet or wearing the solid gold for Cathedral. You see it here. Both schools, both coaches do a great job of starting these kids young to get them into the football programs throughout CYO. We do those championships here in IndianaSRN. We see the level of tradition that both of these coaches continue to bring to the football field each season. If you can't get hyped for this game, if you can't get up for this, one of the best rivalries in the state of Indiana, we're going to have a heck of a matchup here tonight.
And I'll tell you what, the weather is beautiful. You see the shadow over the field, so we're not too worried about the sun, though it sets behind us. In the mid-80s right now. It'll drop into the high 70s once we get into the second quarter and on. But boy, from the Selleck Bowl, Butler University, the beautiful venue, and this weather could not be better. Not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, it's kind of been a little back and forth, right? We were a little chilly last week when we saw Cathedral down at UIndy. Tonight, it's perfect. It feels like summer, and we are ready to go. And I think, I mean, we talked about how these coaches know each other so well. These players know each other so well. They've been playing with and against each other for a very long time. And here we are ready to do battle in one of the best rivalries in the state of Indiana for the 51st time, Chatard and Cathedral.
Yeah, take a look at the pregame tailgate here. Of course, we're at the Selleck Bowl, Butler University, and so are so many fans here for both sides. A home game for Cathedral. You just saw on the screen the head referee is Eric Snyder. He's got a good team with him. Chris Sidoris, Jim Snyder, Josh De Ladere, and then Nick Logsden. So there's the referee crew here for today. And You saw Cathedral. We'll see their offense first as they come out with this kickoff return unit.
Very experienced ref corps here out of the Westfield area. They've done a lot of major 6A type of football games. This is another big one. I can't say it enough. I mean, this is what, as a alumni, you come back to watch this game. What are you going to do? I want to come back for that Chatard Cathedral game because it is such a rivalry. It means so much to both sides. You'll see this crowd fill up. You'll see it across the way fill up as well. We are in for a show here tonight.
It's the two winningest teams in state tournament history. Cathedral, Chatard ready to get this one underway. Chatard ranked number 1 in 4A. And our 5A SRN poll has Cathedral receiving votes. So you're the first team out of the top 10. A win here would absolutely change that.
Yeah, it's something I talked to head coach Bill Peebles about before the game was the schedule, right? As I mentioned, they are playing teams that are going to still be playing football in the month of November, which is obviously the goals when you start practice in 2 days there in July and August. So, I mean, throw the record out. Both these teams battle-tested, and we are underway.
Fielding this one from the end zone, that'll be a touchback. And, Tony, let's get a couple keys to the game here.
Yeah, I think if you're Cathedral, it is not allowing yourself to be one-dimensional. You want to have some passes from Coors. Get him comfortable early. Give him as much protection as possible and get yardage on first and second down. The biggest thing last week with St. X was they weren't able to get yards on those first 2 downs, and it wound up putting themselves in third and long situations. On defense for Chatard, stack the box, make them throw the football because they are going to want to run here. Get Coors kind of scrambling out, make him uncomfortable if you're the Trojans D.
Those keys brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. More on those in a moment, but how about the first run of the day? It is Jimmy Pappas who will lead the starting lineup here, although usually Xavier Dangerfield, those two are interchangeable. The quarterback is Cam Coors, as you see there. Wide receiver core, Nate Van Viersen, Jackson Harvey, who's headed right here to Butler, Evan Johnson, and Adam Ayers. And then your offensive line, you see those 5 on the screen as well. As Coors draws the flag, your offensive line, Caden Martin, Trey Jefferson, Lyndall Tipton. It is Nolan Blevins and Phillip Brown III anchoring the right side.
They call Caden Tuna, and look, you saw a lot of seniors, right? This is that game that they want to look back on their senior year and say, we beat Chatard. You saw all of those seniors, and on the flip side, a lot of juniors here for Chatard that are finally getting to play in this huge rivalry game, where opposed to last year, they were probably watching and chomping at the bits for this night.
Yeah, you saw the starting defense there for Chatard. We'll get more on those in a moment. Dangerfield returns into the backfield here for Cathedral. It's a pass right out of the gate, and it is a completed pass. Coors only found 5 of those last game, and now he finds one to move the chain.
Yeah, excellent job there. They got yardage on first down. The hard count gets them closer to the sticks. Second down, where maybe Chatard's thinking run, quick out route for a first down, and that's what we talked about in the outset. One of the keys was getting Coors confident early on, giving him some passing lanes to be able to make quick, easy passes there, pick up of about 6, enough to move the sticks.
Now with a fresh set of downs, here's the run by Pappas. He is brought down by Zach Gantz, this starting secondary. Gantz out there with Jack Chase, Jax Guidry, and Murphy Kennett. And then your defensive line here, Thad Lawrence, Kamari Morris, and Jack Finnegan. The starting linebackers, Anthony Hoekstra, Jagger Guidry, David Lepper, and Cole Lunsford.
Spreading it out here, and again, those runs could open yourself up for a play action.
We see another run here. We'll set up third down and medium, and one of the starting linebackers, he's got a pick on the year. Jagger Guidry is not playing today. He is out, and that will leave room now for Anthony Schmehill, who's going to come in and have a good opportunity here to maybe make his impact on the game and earn some more playing time.
Caden Martin there. Tuna gave him some space there. Set yourself up for third and manageable.
Here it is, 3rd and 6. The pressure right away by, guess who? The man I just said, and Anthony Schmehill. And just like that, 4th down, the punt team out onto the field.
Yeah, Schmehill gets the blitz, rolls out. Coors uncomfortable, did not have time to set his feet, made a throw on the run across the body. And just like we saw last week with St. X, forcing yet another they did get for 1 first down, but a quick possession here offensively for Cathedral.
Well, Cathedral was 0 of 11 on 3rd down against St. Xavier, one of the better teams in the Cincinnati area last week, and now certainly not starting well on third down there, as we'll see the punt team come out.
Oof.
In the All-State, All-World punter Van Krisloff, who is headed to Eastern Michigan next year, and for good reason.
What a
Look
roll.
at this.
Going to roll back and put him right at the 20-yard line.
Hey, we'll count that as the inside the 20 punt. Great job from Krisloff, and now we'll see the starting offense for Bishop Chatard for the first time, led by the quarterback Jack Harrington. Made his first start of the year last week, missed a couple weeks with injury. The running back is Danny Adams, nearly 1,000 total yards last year. Boy, he's already got 500 through 3 weeks. Your wide receivers for Bishop Chatard here: Cam Harden, Zach Wagner, Drew Schwickheimer, and Julio Graves. And we'll get to the starting offensive line after this play. Our first look at Rob Doyle's offense.
10 yards per completion, as we mentioned. So the sticks move often for Chatard. They are a two-dimensional team. They love to run the football. They can throw it as well. And we're going to see a heavy dose of the backfield here with Adams for sure.
And he'll get the first touch of the game for the Trojans.
And that's what makes him so good. Very small sample size. If you haven't watched Chatard this year, you saw it right there. Most running backs in the state of Indiana, that's maybe a 1-yard pickup. But he keeps the legs churning and moves forward for an extra couple of yards after that initial hit, and he picks up 3.
Your starting offensive line there, you see Jesse, Haney, Dwyer, Angelis, and Folk.
Cathedral shows blitz here.
On second down and medium.
Watch for Marcus Shannon on the inside.
And right now it's Harrison Odom in at quarterback, not Harrington. As Odom now takes the snap and will wisely hand it off to the all-world running back Danny Adams. He'll get most of what he needs, maybe a yard shy, as we take a look at the starting defense for Cathedral, led by this strong linebacking core. Kyle Harden and Gannon Knowles are Saturday players. They are great for this linebacking core with Caden Nelson and Charlie Long on the outside. Your defensive line with Michael Pugh, Max Bird, and Aiden Flournoy. And then this great secondary, which we'll get to in a moment.
Yeah, Harden and Knowles we'll talk about a lot. Knowles heading to Ball State to play his football. And once again, just like we saw on the offensive side for Cathedral, a senior-laden defense here. Let's see if they can get off the field on 3rd and short.
So it's Harrison Odom in at quarterback. We'll tell you plenty about him. Right now, Adams picks up the first down and gets across the line. For Odom, started the first 2 games when Harrington missed to injury. He had 3 touchdowns over those 2 games and also ran for a touchdown. But we certainly were expecting to see Harrington. In fact, he was warming up and looked fine. So I'm not sure why we're seeing the backup in right now.
Yeah, we'll have to try to get a word on that. But on a 3rd and short, there was a great push there from Cathedral. But Adams just kept those legs moving, got the edge, and enough for the first down.
Now with this fresh set of downs. Another handoff. No, this time the fake. And that'll be down, right? Yeah. Maybe a gain of 1 there as making the catch, but sliding. And meaning he's down, and it's Brooke Haynes.
Yeah, I like the setup because you had a lead blocker, and it would have been good enough for a first down. The throw kind of across the body, across field, came up just a bit short. Knee was down, and they're going to mark him right back at the stick. So 2nd down and maybe 9. I think they're going to give him a gain of maybe a half yard there.
And that was our first look at the secondary for Cathedral. Starting back there, the Ball State commit, Zion Hill. Boy, can he pull down some interceptions. He's had 6 over the last 2 seasons. Out there with the free safety, Alex Couch. Just typically a 1 safety setup here as we've got an incomplete pass. First one of the day for Odom. And we'll see a 3rd down and long. And then the final quarterback there, or cornerback, is Tim Onyetich.
Yeah,
so a good secondary and a great defense.
When you talk about Odom there, you know, we don't know this. We expected him to be the 2nd string. So did he take the 2nd string snaps all week in practice, which right there on a timing route, when you had a wide open target and the timing was a bit off in order to throw the football, that's when those things could become an issue. And we saw it in the first 2 passes, just a little bit short of the intended target.
And Harrington is fully dressed with his helmet on, standing behind the coaching staff, standing a couple yards behind Rob Doyle right now on the sideline. So, again, up here in the booth, we have no idea, but right now it's Odom's team, and he'll look to throw right here. He throws it down the field, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. Boy, there's the flag. That's going to be a free first down. With the late hit out of bounds. The intended target was Harden. He took a licking as that one well over his head.
Yeah, and I don't think that was anything intentional out of Ryan Freege. I just think the momentum, not knowing where you are on the sidelines and going for the football to make sure that the wide receiver does not make a play. His momentum took him, which led to the contact, and we see some coaches down as well on the sideline. And that's one, if you've been down on the sidelines of a football game, it is scary when your legs get taken out from underneath you like we just saw. Nonetheless, it is a penalty. Move the sticks, and the drive continues. It was a 3rd and 9. You were off the field, but again, I don't think anything ill will out of that. I just think momentum took you, and that was what the contact came from.
These referees are going to check on the downed coach. And while they do that, we'll step aside as well. It's IndianaSRN.
Official timeout.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Down like that.
Back here at the Selleck Bowl, Butler University. They're checking on the Cathedral coach that was just ran into on the sideline. It should be the punt team out right now, but instead, because of a late hit out of bounds, a 1st down and 10 here and a 15-yard penalty. Chatard's going to start, or rather continue their drive now near midfield.
I like this here play action. 1st down.
Odom to Graves across midfield near the red zone. How about Julio Graves, the team's leading receiver by a mile?
Yeah, just beat him off the line there. A nice high percentage throw. Get your backup quarterback's confidence going early here, and inside of the 30 goes Chatard on a drive that probably should have already been ended. You give them 10 yards on the penalty. You give them another 26 there for the pickup on the 1st down.
A great route, a great catch and run, and it's Graves who has 4 times the number of targets as any of his teammates. He is certainly the favorite of Odom and of Jack Harrington. Harrison Odom, again, the backup quarterback in. He hands it off to the star running back and Danny Adams, who is immediately brought down by Couch from the safety position. He'll gain about 3.
And Adams is a very patient runner there, right? You don't see him get tackled in the backfield all that often. Even if the play isn't there for him, he's still going to pick you up 2 to 3 yards and stay on the plus side, and that's why he's well over 500 yards in a season.
Adams out of a bit of a pistol formation here. Odom will survey. 2nd down and long for Chatard on its first drive today, and immediately brought down. Boy, we've talked about the talent of Danny Adams, but how about this defensive line keeping him in check so far?
Yeah, great push there. And one thing that we haven't mentioned that should be mentioned, and we saw a little bit there, this game's going to get chippy.
Yeah.
These guys know each other. They've grown up together. You have to keep your emotions in check in this one. Now, the late personal foul there out of bounds, I don't think that was anything malicious. That was just momentum taking you that direction. But you're going to have to keep your brain focused and your helmet straight here tonight.
Halfway through the opening quarter from the Selleck Bowl, Butler University. Here is the read option. It's Adams bouncing it to the outside. What a run for him. That's a 1st down inside the red zone now.
Yeah, when it's a speed race like that, he's going to get that edge every time. It was one-on-one, makes the first guy miss. Gets past the edge, down inside of the 20-yard line. They're going to mark him out of bounds right there at the 15. So a 1st and 10. You can get a 1st down without scoring a touchdown, but obviously Chatard taking 6.
Well, you see the replay there that might have robbed Adams of a couple of yards. As Odom's trying to get this defensive line to jump a bit. Adams with 9 touchdowns through 3 great games. That is just incredible.
Yeah, how about a pass here? How about a 1st down pass? A nice, easy, Chris, and I'm wrong, of course. That's why I don't coach. But again, Cathedral's defense is going, all right, they're running it all over us. They've had a couple completed passes. We have to be on our toes. It'll be interesting to see how Doyle plays this because, look, you give Adams in the backfield 4 attempts to get 15 yards into the end zone. He's probably going to get it.
Well, how about this Cathedral defense? Again, they gave up 24 points against St. Xavier, but that's pretty deceiving because so often the offense did not set up Cathedral's defense with success. They held St. X 1 of 13 on third down. They forced 3 takeaways. It was a great performance, and really we've seen that all season. This is a great defensive unit, the best that Chatard has seen by far.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it was third and longs, and the field position for St. X last week was the difference in that one. It gets it down inside of the 5. I think that'll move the chain, so we'll have a first down and goal coming up. And why not? Healthy dose of Adams here. You know, sometimes when you get down inside the 5-6 yard line, it's a little bit more tough, right? It's a little bit more tough to throw the football because you feel like the defenders are right on top of you because there's nowhere else to go, right? So you want to keep the football on the ground.
First down and goal from the 4. Here is Danny Adams, the star running back. You think he's going to get a handoff or 2 or 4 right here. Odom stands in the pistol, the backup quarterback, and he'll hand it off. Adams tries to make a man or 2 miss, and he's swallowed up right away. Give him a yard.
Yeah, great job there on the pursuit from Cathedral's defense. Adam Flournoy, the senior, was there, wrapped him up, and you have to wrap him up and make sure you finish off the tackle because Adams keeps those legs churning for those extra yards.
And guess what? Now you have to go do it again and again and again after that. It is second down and goal from the 3.
And we saw this last week, right? We saw this with St. X. Cathedral had stopped them on third down. It was 3rd and 2 from the 2-yard line, and they punched it in for a touchdown.
Chatard looking to go up on Cathedral. Adams with it. He's patient, and he is in to the end zone for a Chatard touchdown.
Yeah, give a big shout there to the big boys up front, 68 and 62. Maddox, Dwyer, and KJ Rogers opening up those holes. Chatard strikes first with 3:24 to go in the first quarter.
A strong offensive line that is a staple of Rob Doyle's teams, and you see Danny Adams successful again, his 10th touchdown of the season. The kicker is Pato Gallardo as he waits for this one. He has not missed a PAT yet this year, and I know you're not supposed to say that as a broadcaster. We'll see if that bites me in the rear end. He remains perfect. Boy, he killed that one. And Chatard up on top first here from the Selleck Bowl, IndianaSRN.
Look at all the people.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
How about the running back Danny Adams punching in his 10th touchdown of the season? You know what you are going to get when you play Chatard, and that is a stud running back, and he shows it there.
Yeah, 6-play drive, 80 yards, started at the 20 after that punt. And again, it was aided by that 15-yard penalty as well as a 26-yard completion. So great job there by Chatard early in this football game, staying. They were two-dimensional. They ran the football. They threw the football. And what seems to be USA night here for the Chatard faithful. We've got Lady Liberty down there. We got a lot of American flags. An amazing crowd here at Butler. We see the mounds over here to our right on the south end of the end zone full. And Chatard strikes first.
Gallardo puts the leg into this one, and it's another touchback. And take a look at this. Danny Adams is Mr. Inevitable.
And we see it right here. Just a big-time hole. Very patient. We saw it the entire drive. We've seen it all season with Adams. A very patient runner. Finds the end zone. Caps off the drive with 6.
But he still had to earn that one. You see him getting pulled down from behind. The power of the young junior.
Those are the hits you'll take, right? Those are the hits that you have no problem being drugged to the ground when you look up and you go, I'm in the end zone, baby. That's a touchdown.
Cathedral a punt on its first drive, though it did move the chains once. We'll see what Cam Coors and this offense can produce now down on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Nathaniel, what did we see last week? The defense for Chatard was on the football field way too much. St. X really controlled the time of possession, and that's because it was 3 and out or 3, 4, or 5 plays on a drive and then a punt. So a lot to still see here for Cathedral's offense, but getting plus yardage to set up a second down and short is also big.
Yeah, that first down rush by Dangerfield, didn't see that a ton last week, certainly struggled on first downs, and that's kind of been the difference here. A nice first down rush will set up second down and short.
And that's what we talked about, getting those yardage on first down so you're not setting yourself up for third and longs, although here you're stood up right at the line of scrimmage, so a third and short coming up.
Dangerfield ripped down from behind. It was a slow start to the season, but he had his best game last week, over 100 rushing yards on the day, though aided by a explosive 51-yard rush.
Yeah, so a third and manageable here.
0 of 11 on third down last week against St. X. This offense needs to produce in this area. Coors will survey.
Yeah, 8 drop passes last week, 13 drop passes 2 weeks ago against Brownsburg.
Here's Coors, who looks to throw, and he does so down the seam. It is just out of reach of his intended target, and another 3 and out.
Yeah, and it looks like he's holding his shoulder. The intended wide receiver there was Jackson Harvey. He's going to walk off a little gingerly with the shoulder.
He will be playing on Saturdays on this very field next season, but yeah, we'll check on him as this one goes. Take a look at this, just outside of the outstretched arms of Harvey.
Yeah, the play call was right. You get him kind of the wheel route, and it's a sprint from there. Looked like a pretty good thrown ball. Just came up without the catch there. Maybe a little bit more worried, a little bit over the shoulder. Know the hit's coming. And another 3 and out here for Cathedral's offense.
A great punter in Van Krisloff, and Adams will step back and have to get this one around his own 30-yard line. We'll see Chatard come out again.
Yeah, this Cathedral defense feels like, with only 2 minutes to go here in this first quarter, it feels like they have spent the majority of this first quarter on the football field. And once again, a quick 3 and out, maybe 3 minutes of actual time has gone off the clock since Chatard scored. So Cathedral's defense, a quick turnaround here. Let's see if they come up with a big stop.
And the quarterback remains the backup in Harrison Odom.
Yeah, one-on-one coverage here to the bottom of your screen with Julio Graves. Cathedral stacking the box, looking for the run.
And that's what it is here. How about the patience of Adams as he explodes through the hole? Give him 3 yards on first down.
Yeah, Kyle Harden there with the tackle. If he gets by Harden, he might have been gone to the 50-yard line, if not more. Very patient, kind of waiting, and then that burst of speed out of the backfield picks up about 4 on the gain. When Nathaniel looked like he was going to be lost for nothing there, couldn't get past the line of scrimmage. Waited. Burst of speed, pick him up 3.
But credit to Harden, the linebacker, All-State last year. He is such a talented player. We'll get more on him after this second down and long. It's a play action. What can Odom do on the run? Makes chase, and how about that? A nice successful catch about 2 yards shy of the sticks. It is Brooks Haynes.
Yeah, and Odom felt the pressure. He was under pressure. 1 more second, it would have been a sack. Finds his man right to the sticks. They're going to be just short of the first down. They got to get to the 40-yard line here on 3rd and 1.
How about Harden? We saw him last week, you and I, Tony. He had 2 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss against St. Xavier. He is going to be a special player here.
That is D1 football talent at its finest right there. Now let's see if Cathedral's defense can pick up that offense and get off the field here and force Chatard into a 3 and out. Tough to do when you got Adams in the backfield. You just need 1 yard.
Steps back into the pistol. Odom's your quarterback on 3rd down and 1. Adams off like a rocket. He is hit hard, but he gains the 2 yards that he needed. The sticks move.
Move those chains. And again, even if it was 4th down, I think they would have probably gone for it and given him an opportunity because he does not get tackled that often in the backfield. They'll go a little bit quick here, maybe get 1 or 2 more plays off before the end of this first quarter.
Chatard would love to get out to a 2-touchdown lead. How about that last drive? 12 plays, 80 yards, and culminating in that 3-yard touchdown. That is what this offense does best. So methodical.
Yeah, should be the last play of the quarter here. 7 seconds on the play clock, 11 on the game clock, and another burst of speed out of the backfield for a pickup of 4. And you see here, offensively, what's happening. Chatard getting yards on first down. Cathedral behind the sticks here through 1.
The Trojans lead the Irish after 12 minutes of play. We've got more for you after this on IndianaSRN.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with on demand on their YouTube channel. the cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Nathaniel Finch, Tony Donahue, Chatard 7, Cathedral 0. This one brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, the leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors throughout Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give them a call today, 317-849-0810. And now 2nd down and 7 after that 3rd down and short pickup a couple of plays ago.
Yeah, we're going to have a false start here, so that's going to move it back to a 2nd and 12. Different start than what this game was last year when Cathedral went on to a 31-7 victory. They were up 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. And again, as we talked about, Chatard doing a great job gaining plus yards on almost every play so far. Obviously, that first drive had that long pass for 26 yards and was aided by the penalty on 3rd down. And Cathedral 27-12 in this series. But Chatard dominating that first quarter on both sides of the football.
The Cathedral's won 10 of the last 12 matchups. This is matchup number 51 between these two storied rivals. Ooh. Here is, boy, a big hit. Knocked down from behind. It is Odom who's smashed to the ground.
Yeah, and just a huge push there on 2nd and 12 to stop the run. Aiden Flournoy again in there, makes the tackle. He's going to get a little bit of a breather here, and a 3rd down and a long. So the first situation of the night where Cathedral can get off the football field defensively quickly, and Chatard, their biggest test here on 3rd down and long.
Only allowed St. Xavier to convert on 3rd down once last week. Cathedral's defense is stout, but boy, Chatard just so good in these 3rd down and short situations. Odom looks to throw. The screen pass. Adams has it, and he's brought down right away. He'll lose 2 yards. And the punt team likely coming out. How about that open field tackle?
Yeah, a great look there defensively. They brought the rush. They sniffed out that screen pass. And boy, oh boy, we were a split second from seeing Marcus Shannon take that to the house on a pick 6. Great job here by Cathedral's defense. You step up, you get the penalty, you stop the running game, you stop the passing game. Now you should get the football in pretty good territory, maybe at the 30 or 35-yard line, pending the punt, but they're bringing the house here.
Patrick Belby will knock this one away.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. This one's coming back. Don't even bother with this return because Belby just got smoked well after the ball left his foot. That's going to be a free 15.
Yeah, that's not going to be running in. That's going to be roughing. I mean, that was an absolute hit.
Belby's only punted the ball 3 times this year through 3 games, and that number's going to hold. Yeah, his 4th one won't be counted.
Shout out to Patrick. Takes the hit for his team, and it's an automatic 1st down. So that first drive aided by a 3rd down, unnecessary roughness here, running into the punter, actually tackling him, basically. So now on 3rd and 4th downs on the first 2 drives for Chatard, they've been aided by a penalty and will find themselves in plus territory.
And that is not typical of a Bill Peebles-led team. Now we've seen twice where these drives have been extended. It could be, a 0 on the scoreboard right now for Chatard. Instead, they're trying to go up by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the price you pay for bringing a 10-man rush to try to block that punt and try to spark something is that opportunity, that chance for a roughing the punter, and we saw it there. So 2 late hits here in this first half that has cost Cathedral and allowed Chatard to keep drives going.
1st and 10 past midfield. The read option keep by the quarterback, and Odom gets smashed to the deck. What a hit there.
Yeah, big time step up by Alex Couch. Lays the boom after about a 5-yard pickup. So it'll be a 2nd and 5. But those are the type of hits. Clean, hard football between Chatard and Cathedral. That should get the defense fired up here.
Look at the free safety here. Couch running up and just laying a absolute heater. And like you said, completely clean. That's one way to get your defense inspired.
2nd and 6 here.
As if this defense needed any more inspiration. Odom's going to run for his life. This one incomplete. What a play out there by Zion Hill.
Yeah, Zion Hill gets there, gets his arm out to deflect the football. Sometimes you don't have the ability to intercept it, but you get that hand out there, you smack it away, and it's going to be a 3rd down and 6. So once again, Cathedral's defense in a position where they can get themselves off the football field.
This one is brought to you by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals, Piper Logistics, been trusted partners for inventory management, warehousing, fulfillment, and transportation. Ride with us. Call today, 317-396-1023. And it's a big 3rd down and medium here for Chatard's offense.
You feel like this is a momentum-changing play here in this first half.
And there it is, a catch and run. There goes Brooks Haynes in for his 2nd touchdown of the season.
Just a quick out route, got the spacing, hit him perfectly on the run, and to the house, does a backflip to celebrate. And another 3rd down play for Chatard. They convert. We're going to have an excessive celebration penalty here with the backflip. But a touchdown from right around midfield. And we talked about how is that momentum going to shift. Cathedral having a hard time getting off the football field on 3rd downs.
Yeah, I think if you're Rob Doyle, you're going to say a few words to your receiver, but how about Brooks Haynes there?
Yeah, it was a foot race after he got off of the line of scrimmage quickly. You're going to take that yardage on the kickoff. You're not going to take it here on the extra point, I don't believe. I think you'll elect to have it on the kickoff because, as we've seen last week and so far here in this first half, this first quarter and change, really, is the fact that Cathedral has not been able to flip field position. They have not been able to really get it past the 40-yard line.
Haynes came into this one with just 1 catch under his belt. He already has 3, and one of them a big house call as Chatard goes up by 2 scores. We see flags fly before this one.
Jump.
And boy, is Chatard lucky there because it was a missed field goal, but because it's a false start, that's not one that you can accept or decline. They just blow it dead right away.
Man, that's when you're going, man, will that come back to haunt us? And if you're Chatard, that's one of those where, hey, don't be jumping. But you know what? I'm not too mad about that
we'll
one
take
right
that.
there. Let's get another opportunity
because
at it.
Gallardo has not missed a PAT yet this year. He's hit 17 of them.
Yeah, 8 plays, 77 yards, 4 minutes and 25 seconds on the drive. And that 50-yard touchdown strike. Yahtzee.
That one is no good, and that's the announcer's jinx. IndianaSRN.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
Back here at the Selleck Bowl, home of the Butler Bulldogs, and today home of a potent Trojan offense. Chatard scores for its 2nd time today. Has twice the amount of touchdowns since we showed up here, Tony, than Cathedral has had all season. It's been one of those years for this offense, and there's no better time than right now to turn that around.
Yeah, and you should get some good field position and a chance to return this after the penalty on the touchdown, and we'll see fielded here at the 15-yard line. So you gained about 10 yards there on the penalty. Nonetheless, for Chatard, doing a great job of taking advantage of mistakes by Cathedral. We saw the late hit on that opening drive. which led to a touchdown. This one aided by the roughing the punter and a 45-yard touchdown strike. Extra point, no good to make it 13-0, and that's where the flag comes. I love it.
You think
I love that these kids are having fun.
If he stuck the landing, would they have thrown the flag, or is it because he fell and didn't quite stick it that they penalized him?
Man, I like to see these kids having fun in a rivalry game like this. I get you have to keep the game under control if you're an official, so I'm not too upset about that call. But let's see if Cathedral can get things going, and a first down run for 9 will do it.
Nearly a first down. He's a yard shy. Jimmy Pappas, as you take a look at this. How about Haynes? Again, just one catch coming into this one. He already has 3 in that one, a 45-yard bomb.
Yeah, and I think if you're Cathedral here on second and short, keep running the football, but you got to give your defense a little bit of a rest. I feel like they've been on the football field throughout most of this quarter and a half so far.
There's Pappas again. He moves the sticks, and now the offense moving right along, continue to run the ball. I'd say is a good strategy for Bill Peebles.
Yeah, having some success here with Pappas as opposed to Dangerfield. So let's see if they keep giving it to him. But this will also set yourself up for that play action, and I'm interested to see when Peebles will let Coors step back and throw the football.
He'll hand this one off again, the third straight, and maybe a gain of 2. This defensive line really swallowed him up.
Yeah, there was a great pursuit there. They knew the run was coming, and this is what we're talking about. If the rushing game is working for Cathedral, you keep it going, but you don't want to become too one-dimensional, and we'll see wide receiver Connor O'Brien check in here on the inside of your screen, so a 3-wide look, maybe a quick throw here.
Coors will stand out of the gun. Pappas is the running back to his right. He'll fake the handoff. Here's the screen, trying to make a man miss. And he'll gain a few yards. That'll set up third down and short for Evan Johnson, the receiver, with his 5th catch of the season.
Yeah, Johnson had a big catch to keep a drive going last week against St. X. And here, just a little bit of a misdirection. Come out of the backfield, fire a screen. You get past the 50-yard line for the first time here this evening, but you still need to pick up 3 to get that first down and keep your defense, more importantly, off the field.
Coors only completed 5 passes last week. Here's a handoff. Can Pappas make things work? He tries. He'll be a yard shy, and you certainly go for it right here. A yard shy of the sticks on 4th down from the 46.
Yeah, just kind of a slow developing play there. I think you go hard count here, try to get him to jump and try to get that first down. If not, quarterback keeper the entire way.
Yeah, they're lining up for this quarterback keeper.
Jumped.
The free 5, don't even have to run a play. Cathedral says, I'll take that, and we'll see the sticks move.
Yeah, that's what you do right there. You line up like you're going to go quick. You do that hard count, as mentioned, and you get the defense to jump. Hey, at this point, if you're Cathedral, you will take first downs and moving the sticks any way you can get it. They find themselves at the 41-yard line with their first real opportunity to put up points in this game.
Pappas stays in at running back. He's had some good success today against this Chatard line. Just a 2-receiver look. Core's going to bark out some commands here.
A lot of space on the edge to the left side here.
He'll hand it off. Here goes Pappas. Squeaks through a couple of tackles. Give him a gain of 2.
Yeah, positive yards on first down. But 6 points here. That's 7 with the extra point. But you're thinking end zone. And let's see if they kind of open up the playbook here a little bit. We saw a little bit of a misdirection on that last play call when they went to the air. So let's see if they continue to maybe get some misdirection and have the defense going one way.
Another handoff. Here goes Pappas. Brought down from behind.
And it feels like Cathedral is ready to break a run. Like they're right there. The holes are there. The holes are open to break a run. We'll see if they continue to keep plugging away before they finally break one.
3rd down and 4 yards to go. This offense down by 2 scores. You just need to find a way to keep the chains moving.
Yeah.
A heavy set. Man in motion is Ayers, faking the handoff, throwing it. It's a catch and run. Van Viersen with a nice run. He'll move the sticks, gets you a couple of yards away from the red zone.
Great patient throw. Core sets his feet, fires it. Van Viersen turns at the spot he needs to be, and for the first time tonight, they move the sticks via the air.
And he's nearly eclipsed his completion total from a year ago. Core's looking strong. here in this second quarter. Here's another handoff quickly. It goes to Pappas, who breaks free. He'll gain 10 on first down, but the ball's on the ground.
From here, it looked like he was down. We'll see what the official call is. It did look like he was down. But a nice first down run there to get close to the sticks. And finally, we're starting to see the engine and the wheels start moving here offensively for Cathedral.
But it would be a killer to turn the ball over right here. They're going to talk this over.
Yeah, it looked to me like it came out late after the knee was down. I think that'll be the call. Yeah, so it'll be a second down and short here.
Yeah, we'll take a second look here. Schmehill with the tackle. Then it's
hard to tell, but it did look like the hand was down before the ball came loose.
So now second down and 1. Dangerfield back into the game.
Yeah, how about a pitch to the outside here? Let him get the edge, get a couple blockers ahead of him, and see if he can push this one in.
The All-State rusher has the speed to do that. He had 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns as a sophomore last year. Maybe a little bit slower start to the season than he expected. Here come the flags. It'll be a delay of game.
Delay of game, yeah.
Well, that kills you on second down and 1.
Yeah, really no excuse for that. You've got the play clock clear as day right there ahead of you. Play call comes in, you've got to get ready to go. Especially after, where it was set up, knowing that the officials came together to talk about the fumble on that prior play.
Now second down and 6 instead of just a yard away.
4+ minute drive here so far for Cathedral. It's exactly what they needed. Now they need 7.
Here's the handoff. Dangerfield wrapped up from behind. The pile pushes him maybe a yard. It'll be third down and 5.
Yeah, we see bodies for Cathedral flying 5-10 yards down the field, but only for a pickup of 1. Nathaniel, I don't know about you. I know you've got a D1 kicker, but I'm thinking you're 4 down territory here.
Cathedral searching for its first touchdown since the opening drive of the season. Remember, we are in week 4 now. Pretty often this offense has dried up here in the red area. Dangerfield remains in it back at the running back position with 4 wide receivers. Coors will bark out some more orders.
3 on the play clock.
He looks to throw. First read, caught and then laid down.
I think it's enough for a first down, though. Forward momentum, great hit there out of bounds.
Kinnett makes the tackle. Ayers made the catch, and it'll be close enough to move the chains. Awaiting on the call.
Yeah, I think it is a first down, which is what Cathedral needed. Again,
man, what a hit.
Nice long drive. You got to finish in points here. Under 4 minutes to play in this first half.
You can still pick up a first down without scoring, about a 2-yard difference there. Here's the handoff. Sweep to the far side. Dangerfield is brought down in the backfield.
Yeah, great pursuit there by Keating to get in the backfield and a tackle for loss. Important to note, Chatard will get the second half opening kickoff as well.
So Cathedral could really use a touchdown here. It's been by far the longest drive we've seen, at least for the last 2 weeks.
Certainly, and it's been pretty two-dimensional, right? They've thrown the football when needed, and we'll see if they can pick up here. Have open receivers downfield.
Here's the bootleg for Coors. He can run it himself if he wants. Instead, he'll rifle it past maybe a gain of 2.
Great job there by Coors, keeping the play alive. Not what you wanted, but a quick pickup of 2. You don't get a sack. Clock is still moving, I believe. Did they mark him out of bounds? They did, so the clock will stop. So plenty of time here to get the play call in.
That was Scout Bouchong who came in and made the reception, his first of the year. Here's another throw into the end zone. Caught, but this will be wiped off.
Oh, no.
The first passing touchdown since the opening drive of the season will not count. Boy, has Cathedral shot itself in the foot again.
That is another backbreaker, and the penalty markers right now are the difference in this game. You go back to that first quarter, and the late hit out of bounds kept the offense for Chatard on. Then the roughing the punter led to a touchdown, and now here on what would have been a touchdown on 3rd and long, They're going to have to do it again from the 12-yard line.
It's got to be so demoralizing for Coors, the quarterback. He'll look to throw again. Goes to the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, that's a catchable ball.
Yeah.
That is a catchable ball by Adam Ayers. When it goes off your fingertips, maybe a little bit high, but if it touches your fingertips, you should be able to make the catch. Who knows what he could have done with that. And now you're too far to go for it on 4th and 15. You're going to kick a field goal to make this a 10-point game with one of the best, if not the best kicker in the state of Indiana.
Van Krislov has made 2 field goals, one of them from 46 yards. This one just a couple yards shy of that, and it is successful.
Kid's incredible.
And just like that, Cathedral on the board when we come back, IndianaSRN.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
Well, it was the longest drive, at least of the last 2 weeks for Cathedral. You march down the field, you score a touchdown, but it is wiped off the board because of a false start penalty. The field goal good, came from 34 yards out. Van Krislov will kick this one away here in a moment as well.
Yeah, we saw Cathedral at this point of the last week go for an onside kick. I don't think you're going to give Chatard short field with 3 minutes to go here. But again, the penalties, right, continues to haunt Cathedral. They had a touchdown brought back on a false start, which settled for a field goal from Krislov from 35 yards out.
Here comes the return. Adams is walloped as he brings it out from the 1-yard line. And the drive will start just shy of 3 minutes left in the half. Yeah, just past the 20.
Yeah, 2 ways to play this, right? Both teams with timeouts. And this first down play is really going to dictate what happens. If it's a short run for a yard, 2, or a loss, Cathedral's probably going to call a timeout to try to get this football back. If Chatard gets a chunk yardage, they're going to run up, and they're going to get into their 2-minute drill with 2:55 to go here.
Well, Chatard's seen the field twice, and it has scored touchdowns both times. Here come the Trojans. Adams gets the handoff. He has scored once himself, and he'll gain a few yards on first down.
Yeah, to the 26-yard line, so pick up a 5. So you get half of it here. We'll see if Chatard wants to go in a hurry. It looks like right now they are electing to just kind of take their time here as the clock ticks to the 2:30 mark of the second quarter.
And Tony, you mentioned it. How about that? About 6.5 minutes of time elapsed off the game clock for this defense to take a breather.
Yeah, and you really needed that. 6:33, I believe, on that last drive. I think it started about the 9-minute mark. Let's see if Cathedral's defense is refreshing. We're going to have a timeout charge to Chatard.
And we'll take one as well. From the Selleck Bowl, Butler University, it's IndianaSRN.
At Risk Work, we're Team Indiana through and through. From coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
Hey, welcome back to the Selleck Bowl, Butler University. This one brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374, representing highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication across Indiana. Whether it's a new build, upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Local 374 to get the job right the first time. Here's the handoff on second down and long, and it goes nowhere. Adams is dropped. The defensive line, another great play.
IU leading Indiana State 38-0 because I guess the Big Ten decided we wanted to play college football on a Friday night between Indiana and Indiana State, which last week it was an NFL game, although it was in Brazil. Friday nights belong to high schools. I don't know why we all of a sudden, I know TV and this and that, but can't we have anything pure anymore? High school Friday night football is the place to be right here on IndianaSRN.
Peebles saves his timeouts, and of course that means Chatard's going to let the clock roll. Here comes Odom, throws it on the run, it's intercepted.
Wow. No, they're going to mark it incomplete.
It hit the ground. But aside from that, the punt team will come out as Cathedral gets a nice stop. And the clock stops right there. So you have about 90 seconds and 3 timeouts. But, boy, that one was close. Hill tried to get his 3rd pick of the year.
Yeah, great job by the officiating crew right on top of it there to mark it incomplete. All right, you can bring the house and try to get a block, but do not touch that punter. Stay away from him. Fall on the ground if you have to. Do not make contact with this punter because you're going to have yourself good field position no matter what here.
Last time Patrick Belby booted it, he was drilled right after, and it extended the drive. In fact, both of Chatard's touchdowns have come from drive extending penalties. So to your point, you can rush all you want, but leave Belby alone as you have a chance to bring this within a score before halftime.
Yeah, they're bringing the blitz here. Look right up the middle, Gannon Knowles.
Here comes the boot. Back to return, and he grabs it. Here comes Freegee as he gets near midfield, but is walloped out of bounds.
Yeah, chain reaction there on the pursuit was Hawkstra. He got hit, pushed into the defender, and a big hit out of bounds. And Cathedral with 3 timeouts, a minute 23. You're on the 47-yard line, but you're about 20 yards from field goal range to make this a one-possession game with all 3 timeouts. You don't have to be in a rush here. You can stay patient, but you're going to have to use your timeouts and the sidelines accordingly.
Coors will throw. It is complete. Van Viersen makes the catch. Boy, it bobbled 3 times, but he moves the chains, stops the clock, and the offense will go quickly.
Drop it 3 times, but if you catch it on that 4th, that's what matters. Move the chains. Nice first down throw there. Not going to use a timeout. You're at the 41-yard line.
Across enemy field for the 2nd time today. Here's Coors. He'll step back, looking to throw with pressure.
Get rid of it.
On the run, he throws it on the run. It's incomplete. Boy, he had Van Viersen open, but that was going to be too tough of a pass on the run.
Yeah, on the run, no time to set your feet. And we've seen this. When Coors rolls out and can't set his feet, that's when he throws it behind his intended target or over the head of his intended target there. On a first down there, you wanted that because he was wide open. You stop the clock, get into a patient set. I'd run the football here. You still got 3 of your timeouts on the board.
Now 2nd down and 10. Quick throw. This one toward the boundary and another big hit by Kinnett.
Yeah.
Taking the smoke was Evan Johnson right back up. Without calling a timeout, this offense will roll.
Yeah, 3rd down here and manageable. 3rd and 6.
Somebody tell Bill Peebles he can't take those timeouts into the second half. Here comes the pressure again. Chatard getting after Coors. He is on the run. He'll tuck it himself. He continues to go, slides down after the chains, and now inside the 30. The clock will stop momentarily. The offense up to the line.
Yeah, I think Peebles got a timeout there. Great job by Coors, keeping his head up, looking down the field, makes 1 cut to gain about 7 or 8 more yards, enough for the first down, and a timeout here for Cathedral.
This one brought to you by Risk Work. We make people feel safe. We protect your business. You live safe. We've got it covered. Call Risk Work today, 317-379-6755. And boy, how about this sequence here for a Cathedral offense that has been dormant the better part of the last 3 weeks, if not 4 weeks, and we'll see if they can put something together. How impactful would a big touchdown drive be here before halftime?
Absolutely. I mean, a touchdown drive would be huge, but I think you're going, look, we have to get 3 no matter what. We have to cut this to a one-possession game heading into the locker room. Trailing 13-0, and it was a dominating first quarter and a half for Chatard. Cathedral's really taken that momentum back. It started with that 6-minute drive at the 9-minute mark of this second quarter to find themselves on the board with 3. And here, you obviously want 7. You need 3.
This one is brought to you by LIUNA, the Build American Union. 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages and benefits, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. We are LIUNA. First down and 10 after the timeout from Bill Peebles. Here's Cathedral slinging it with a completed pass into the red zone to the 10-yard line. The clock will stop for a moment. Coors finds his man downfield, and that's Connor O'Brien.
Yeah, O'Brien, a great job there. Just runs a straight route, turns around. Football is already in his pocket for the first down.
Another timeout. We'll take one as well from the Selleck Bowl at Butler University. Cathedral knocking on the door of the end zone.
This is LifeWise Academy. It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
During Army basic training, I found out I had 7 herniated discs. Prescription pain medication led me to a heroin addiction. I entered Wheeler's program and learned life on God's terms.
After meeting Greg, I was so impressed, I hired him. When you change that one life, it makes it all worthwhile.
Now, I have a family, house, and a job.
First down and 10, less than 30 seconds left in the half, and a sack. As Coors goes down, only one timeout left in the pocket for Peebles, and it looks like he will take it.
Yeah, you got to take it here. Could have been worse. Coors kind of finds a little bit of a hole to get almost back to the line of scrimmage. And we talked about this, just kind of how that defense swarms you with your back against the wall with that end zone, right? Not a lot of places to go, not a lot of space for your wide receivers to get open. That was a covered sack downfield. Cathedral with one timeout on a 2nd down and 14. You got that one timeout, which obviously is important. I think you go to the air here and see what you can get on 2nd and 4. 17 seconds. You got enough to at least run 2 plays before you bring that field goal unit out.
Last time the Fighting Irish were at this part of the field, it was a touchdown. Then it was negated by the false start. They had to kick a field goal, and that's how you see the score is what it is right now. So you really hope that you can do more of the former, not the latter.
And if I'm Peebles, and again, I'm really bad at coaching, that's why I'm up here. I'm not mad at a delayed quarterback run here or a delayed handoff to Dangerfield to see if he can get you a little bit closer.
Here's Cathedral. Again, the pressure comes. Rolling out goes Coors, and he will step out of bounds. Out of timeouts is Cathedral, and we'll see a 3rd down at about 10.
I think Cathedral has 1 timeout left, if I'm not mistaken there. But Coors stepping up, kind of waited, and gets out of bounds. So a 3rd and long. And you just, if you're Coors, get rid of the football. If they're coming and they're greeting you and you're about to get sacked, get that football out. Throw it away if you have to. You don't want to take a sack here, even though you have one of the best kickers in the state of Indiana. You don't want to push it back any further than what it is.
Coors has struggled this year. He can turn that around here. Looking to throw from a clean pocket. He'll roll out. He's got some room to run. Coors puts on the Jets.
Fumble.
He loses the ball. Dove for the pile-on. It was knocked out. We'll see what the call is here.
There's 2 seconds left on the clock. And we'll see.
It looked like he got out of bounds.
It sure did. Now what do you do? Do you kick the field goal to make it a 7-point game and take the sure 6? Or take the sure 3?
Yeah, they will.
Or do you punch it in? And, yep, they're going to bring out Krisloff with 2 seconds left. And this is on 4th down. So, again, 2 seconds. You're going to be able to cut this down to a one-possession game, but you certainly wanted 7 on this drive.
So the offensive woes continue for Cathedral. It's as close as they've gotten.
Yeah, little trickery here, Nathaniel. What do you think?
Probably not the best idea.
You got O'Brien as the holder. I think you got to put 3 on the board here and make this a one-possession game heading into halftime, you feel really good about yourself. Timeout, Chatard.
Timeout called by the Bishop's.
And boy, this is a Fighting Irish squad, Tony, that scored on its opening drive of the season way back in week 1 and still looking for its first touchdown since then. You've settled for field goals quite a bit.
Well, it's on the flip side, it's great to have Krisloff, who is good anywhere, from 50-plus even when needed. If at the end of the first quarter, when they were down, and then it was 13-0, if you tell Bill Peebles going in the locker room you'd only be down 7 and you hadn't found the end zone, I think you would take it. I think that the defense here for Cathedral has stepped up, right? They 3:03 left on the clock. They forced Chatard into a 3-and-out, got good field position, and now Cathedral's offense trying to reward them with 6. Unfortunately, falls short there on 4th down, but great job there by Coors to get out of bounds, stop the clock with 2 seconds to go, and Krisloff should be able to punch this one in, a 20-yard attempt.
These are the 2 winningest schools in state tournament history. Here's the All-State kicker, Van Krisloff. O'Brien holds, Harvey snaps, and it goes between the uprights. 13-6 the scores. We've hit our halftime show, brought to you by the IndianaSRN sports page. Wall-to-wall sports coverage every day. High school, college, and pro. Check it out, IndianaSRN.org. You click on the sports page tab, and you mentioned it, Tony. If you told Bill Peebles about 15 minutes ago that he'd be just down by a touchdown heading into the break, I think he'd be happy with that.
Yeah, and I'm a big momentum guy, right? And it felt like Chatard held momentum all the way throughout that first quarter and about the first 4.5 to 5 minutes of the second quarter. Then things started to shift, and Cathedral heads into the locker room with a nice drive of 6 plays, 50 yards, minute 23, led to that 3 points to cut it within 7. That could be a huge momentum shift, and we could look back on that final 3 minutes of the first half and say that's when Cathedral's defense got off the field. That's when Cathedral's defense was able to turn the football over to its offense, who made plays, made passes down the field, got 3 to make this a 13-6 game.
Certainly going to be interesting to see what Chatard does in the locker room, because you felt good. You score on your first 2 drives, touchdowns both times, but the 3-and-out kind of changed momentum. I think you're still happy if you robbed Doyle, but clearly you wanted to be up by more than just a touchdown.
Yeah, and Chatard will head to the long locker room here. I don't believe Cathedral will go to the locker room. We talked about this last week. At UIndy, you had the locker rooms right there, and the Butler.
Especially when you look at what Cathedral is able to do there, certainly could have been a tie game or even more with the way that this offense looked at times.
Yeah,
and certainly a team that, you struggled offensively the last few games, but they found a way to put together a couple of long drives.
Yeah, and you look at the penalties, right? The penalty on the opening drive led to a touchdown for Chatard. The roughing the punter on 4th down, he should have been off the field twice, but penalties got you. And then you throw a touchdown pass in the second quarter, which is brought back because of a false start. So I think if you're Bill Peebles, you're going, we've done everything in the book to try to get in the end zone, and we haven't been able to do so.
We'll step aside. Our halftime guest comes next. This is IndianaSRN.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Academy. It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school.
It's that simple. Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
A great lawn starts with the right equipment. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we're here to help you make mowing easier and more enjoyable. From zero turns to lawn tractors, John Deere mowers give you the power, precision, and comfort to get the job done right. Plus, with expert service and support from Reynolds, you can spend less time worrying about your mower and more time enjoying the results. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Recess here from Butler, where Chatard has a 13-6 lead over Cathedral on IndianaSRN. We got a special halftime guest for you, Denny Tolles. Lots to talk about with Wheeler Mission. He is the head of community engagement. Pretty good first half of football here, but let's talk about, we talk about tradition. Butler, great tradition. Chatard, Cathedral, great football traditions, but over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been helping the community here of Indianapolis. Just talk about continuing that, and it goes back to, I believe, 1893.
Right, yeah. One of the things that we do, we don't take any government funds, so everything that we do, meeting the basic needs, putting people through programs, just really allowing them to just transform their lives, not just on a day-to-day basis, but for the rest of their life. We have to do a lot of different things right. We have to have great donors through organizations and churches and businesses, individuals, and one of the ways we do that is having about 4 major special events where 100% of all that we raise goes toward right back into our programs. And that's what we've got coming up a week from tomorrow at Park Tudor School. We have our 12th annual CrossFit competition, and we're really excited about it. It is an incredible, if you know the CrossFit athlete, they are intense at everything that they do. And not only in the competition on the field, but part of their scoring for their particular CrossFit gym is fundraising, and we've that they are as intense in that as they are if they're lifting weights or they're running around the track and everything like that. So we're excited to be able to have that at Park Tudor School next Saturday, and they are just very gracious hosts. And if you know the way that field is laid out, you can kind of get up high, kind of like we are here at Butler, being able to see several different competitions going on at one time. And so it is very exciting.
And before we know it, the Drumstick Dash will be here. That's a huge event for you guys every year as well.
Yeah, we just had a sponsor summit today where all of our major sponsors were there, and being able to understand as we really launch this season for Drumstick Dash. We've got Lucas Oil is going to be a co-partner with a major sponsor with Huntington Bank this year, and so we're really excited to be able to have them on board too. But we've like I say, we're really in full swing already for Drumstick. People think, well, wait a minute, that's Thanksgiving. Well, when you try to get 16,000 people in the middle of Broad Ripple on Thanksgiving morning,
yes,
you don't do that just overnight. So
talk about how people can donate and volunteer their time, because that's obviously a very, very important piece to what Wheeler Mission does, whether it's the event next week, whether it's a Drumstick Dash. But how can people get involved that want to help out with what you guys are doing?
Well, we have several different things, especially volunteer-wise. We've got several things to do. A lot of it is meal service things, and even that is kind of divided up into, kind of prepping the meal, serving the meal, and meal cleanup. And when you've got 5 locations that serve meals, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that's a lot of effort to be put into just being able to be able to do that. And we provide our guests just really great, nutritious meals because it's part of how we're trying to relearn them to realize that, hey, you're worth it. And that's really what it is. We're not just giving them this what we can. We give them really great meals, so tell them they're worth it. But we have the meal service.
Give those 5 locations.
What's that?
Give those 5 locations.
Well, we've got 2 in Bloomington, and then we've got 3 here in Indy. We've got 2 separate men's shelters, and then we've got a women's campus. But all those campuses really are both emergency services where people are just coming right off the street and just they may come and go, but there's again it's meeting those basic needs. And then we have the kind of what we call the residential programs where people have kind of made a commitment to say, I'm going to try to break this cycle of homelessness that has defined my life. And it's really about curriculum, learning values again, learning responsibilities again, and really being able to put them on track to be able to be a productive member of society, besides the fact that they are redeeming their own belief in themselves. Their families are reunited in many times. And I know our CEO just was in a meeting today, this particular sponsor summit we had today, and we've got 217 full-time employees at Wheeler Mission, and right at 40% of those are former guests that have come through experiencing homelessness, come through addiction recovery. And so that speaks a lot for how they can pour into our very guests. And by the same token, our guests can look at them and say, man, that was me. That was me at one of those times. So you can go to wheelermission.org, and there's a volunteer link, and you can go there, and it shows you everything you can do. And certainly we've got housekeeping, we've got donation sorting, we've got coming in to do game nights and ice cream socials, all kinds of things. And really, more than anything else, it is just building relationships with these folks who really, in many cases, have been ostracized from almost everybody they've known. And that's one of the issues, is they don't have anybody else to fall back on.
And how important is that when somebody comes in to have that hope and have that relationship with somebody who's been in their shoes?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because that's what we deal with more than anything else. It's people who have lost hope because their circumstances tell them every moment of every day you don't matter, and then they start to believe that. And then they lose hope, and it's like, well, why do I even try? We get them inside of our doors, and it allows us to love on them in a way they've never been loved on before, in all kinds of different ways. It's not just about giving them the meal, but it's the meal with a smile and eye contact, just letting them know, just nothing but body language, and letting them know you belong. And you have some worth. And boy, you start to get them in these programs for a few days at a time, and then a week at a time, and all of a sudden, all we need to do is get them to even consider, well, maybe I am worth it. Boy, we get them there, that's a victory in of itself. So,
look, I'm not a CrossFit guy, but how can somebody, once again, help out next weekend at Park Tudor, again, with the drumstick dash, because it does take an army to put these things on, and you're always looking for volunteers and donors to help out with your
same
cause.
Thing. That you can link into it. There's a link on our website that talks ways to get involved, and then it also then one of those ways is events, and you can not only, like say at this point, we've done all but our CrossFit, which is next weekend, and then of course Drumstick Dash, which is on Thanksgiving. There are still places there that you can plug in, and even if you don't want to come and you're not able to help out and volunteer, be able to come and watch. I really encourage people to come out and watch that CrossFit competition, because it is an incredibly fun day watching these athletes just go after each other, and at the same time having a realization that we're doing something more than just about our competition. We're actually helping we're actually helping our own community in doing that, and they take it seriously.
And we love the partnership with IndianaSRN, as well as everybody that puts on the Drumstick Dash, next week's competition as well with the Wheeler Mission. And we've enjoyed growing with you and getting your word out as much as we can here at IndianaSRN.
It's a great partnership, and we are very pleased to be a part of it.
Denny Tolles from Wheeler Mission. Don't forget, they have a CrossFit competition coming up next week. You can check out their website for more information. Second half coming up, Chatard and Cathedral, 13-6 Trojans.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there is just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Nathaniel Finch and Tony Donahue, and we'll take a look at some statistics from half number 1 here, Tony. It is a 13-6 lead for Chatard. Boy, was it a good one there, and when you look at the numbers, it's all pretty equal. You look at passing, Cam Coors for Cathedral, certainly his best start to the season in a first half. He had 8 of 12 passing, 65 yards. But Harrison Odom, the backup quarterback, we were not expecting to see him start over Jack Harrington, who is dressed, who has a helmet on, but has not seen any action yet. Odom with 74 yards passing. He was efficient. He had that 45-yard strike for a touchdown as well. Both teams pretty even.
Yeah, time of possession, 12:30 to 11:30. Starting that second quarter with Chatard with the football before they went up 13-0. That was lopsided, so Cathedral did a great job there going on that 6-minute drive, which was, I believe, 13 plays. So that was big time. And then, look, you want to talk about Cathedral. Their 4 penalties, 3 of them have been huge. 2 have kept, one kept points off the board, and then another drive, defensively with the roughing the punter and the late hit out of bounds kept drives going on 3rd and 4th down. So you want to clean that up. But I thought Cathedral took the momentum into halftime. You got 2 field goals. You want to find the end zone because you haven't done it in 3 weeks. But to only be down 7 here with the momentum, let's see if their defense can get back on the field to start this second half and do what they did in that second quarter, and that's slow up Chatard's offense.
Boy, these are 2 teams that love to run the ball. They run nearly more than double as often as they throw it, but these defenses have found a way to stymie the run game. You look at the numbers here. Danny Adams, the all-world running back, had 15 carries, but only 51 yards. That's less than 4 yards a carry. That is not what Adams is used to. He did score, but Cathedral's defensive line held him and the rest of the Chatard offense in check, and then vice versa. Jimmy Pappas, 10 carries for 41 yards, but aside from that, nothing going for Cathedral's run game. It's been impressive to see these 2 defenses joust.
Yeah, defensive football. That's what our boy Kevin Bowen likes. He's listening here on IndianaSRN, watching along. Big weekend ahead for KB with the Colts looking to go 2-0 coming up on Sunday. But yeah, as you mentioned, you and I had Cathedral last week. And to see Cam Coors come out and go 8 of 12 in the first half for 65 yards and make some passes. There was a couple that they were incomplete, yes, but he was making passes that were falling incomplete last week, and that really helped Cathedral be two-sided. We talked about it. You don't want to be too one-sided, but again, they got both the passing game and the rushing game going.
Half number 2 starts from the Selleck Bowl after this on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
Nathaniel Finch, Tony Donahue, the Selleck Bowl. It's the home of the Butler Bulldogs in college football, but tonight, some Friday night lights action for you, and it is Chatard and Cathedral. Always a high-profile matchup. This is the 51st time these two teams have met, and Cathedral's won 10 of the last 12 of those, typically dominated by the Fighting Irish, but this year, Bill Peebles' squad maybe not looking as strong as they have in the past, and it could be anybody's ball game. Currently, the lead for Chatard. In fact, you talk about the rivalry here between these two teams. How about last year? Chatard had a 24-game win streak snapped by these Golden Domers, and it certainly is a heated rivalry. Let's get this second half underway. You see the kicker there, Van Krisloff. It's going to be a huge drive here because a touchdown drive or any scoring drive for Chatard. Boy, look at that kick there from Van Krisloff. We'll give the Trojans a 2-score lead and could really bust this game open. So Cathedral, we'll see if the defense can do what it did the last time out as opposed to the first two drives, which ended in big touchdowns.
Again, defense for Cathedral got off the field into that second quarter, which led to a quick 3-minute drive, which led to the field goal. You obviously wanted 6 on that, right? You were inside the 5-yard line. But you take the 6, or you take the 3, cut it to 7.
The quarterback is Harrison Odom. He comes in as the backup quarterback, but starts this entire game. Running back Danny Adams had a strong first half. He scored a touchdown, over 50 yards rushing. But boy, when you give Adams 15 carries, typically he goes over the century mark. This defensive front has been impressive.
Yeah, and it took a minute, took a couple drives, right? But this Cathedral defensive front, we see it right there, not allowing the big plays. Although Adams is going to get plus yardage on almost every play, as we know, he really keeps those legs churning almost better than any running back you'll see in the entire state of Indiana. So, again, a little bit of momentum Cathedral's way. Can you keep that up defensively here on this opening drive of the second half?
Took 2 big hits there, the latter from Couch, and it'll set up a second down and medium. Like you said, you can have your best play against this star running back, and he's still going to find a way to pick up 5 or 6 yards. Here's the pistol look for Odom, the quarterback. He'll hand it off. Adams again. And this defensive front, again, holds him to just 1.5 yard gain.
Yeah, it's a really great pursuit there defensively as Kyle Harden was in there making the play. Gannon Knowles, guys that we talked about in the offset that need to have a big night. Again, third down here and manageable for Chatard. But Cathedral, this would be a huge momentum-shifting play if they can get off the field and force Chatard to do a 3-and-out.
Well, the Trojans scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives, and then that third one, it was a 3-and-out. They punted and gave Cathedral what it needed to go down and score that field goal to bring it within a score. They have not punted very much this year, just 4 times, but they're going to have to punt a 5th. Oh, no, they won't. Another drive extending penalty as Couch will get called with a pass interference. Graves streaking downfield, and he gets bumped.
Nathaniel.
I don't know about that, Tony.
Yeah, that was a little bit tough. I thought it was 50-50. I didn't think there was enough there, but they call it, and they've been consistent all night. And once again, I'd be surprised if Bill Peebles sleeps tonight, even if they win, because what keeps coaches up? Penalties. And what keeps them up even longer? Penalties on big-time plays when your defense could be off the field. This is the 4th major penalty. You know, you can live with 5-10 yards here and on first down, that type of stuff. But 4 major penalties has either kept a drive alive or taken points off the board for Cathedral.
It should be 10-0 in Cathedral's ball right now, if you ask Peebles, because of those 2 drive-extending penalties, now a 3rd, and then the penalty that wiped off the touchdown. To your point, he will not be sleeping much tonight. Here's the end around. Graves trying to find some green. He can't. Played beautifully by this defense, getting up and pumping his fist. How about Cathedral? And Aiden Flournoy.
Yeah, and Nelson there on a pursuit as well. That looked like Chatard had a lot of room in space, and Cathedral swarmed on the reverse play and made the tackle immediately, maybe a gain of 1 for a 2nd and 9. So great job there by the secondary of Cathedral.
And now 2nd down and long. Showing blitz, here it comes. On the pass play, getting it off in time and making the diving catch. That one was impressive. And a guy who doesn't get a ton of looks, Cam Harden, makes the reception.
Cam run to the sticks, turn around, and boom. Catch the football, move the sticks, and that's exactly what he did. Just enough for a first down in the plus territory for Chatard. And once again, another Chatard drive continuing due to the penalty.
And boy, it's Harden, his first catch today. He came in with just 2 receptions, but he had 2 touchdowns, so safe to say it's a good number there as Adams takes the handoff and is stopped again short. Great. Boy, he has not been able to find anything.
Yeah, great push there once again. Gannon Knowles, the D1 Saturday player for Cathedral, getting in that lane and getting the first hit. And it's hard to get a guy like Adams down. He usually takes contact and keeps churning. Cathedral not allowing him extra yards.
And boy, we are 3 plays from this Fighting Irish defense from calling them the best unit in the state. But these penalties, my goodness.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can make another couple stops here.
You know, you talk about beating yourself, and that kind of seems to be it here in that second quarter and early on in the third.
Just a gain of 1. Another stout play by this defensive front.
So here we go. Back in the same scenario, Nathaniel, that we've been in. 3rd and long for Chatard. Can they make a play? And Cathedral defensively, don't beat yourself on a penalty. Get off the field, down 7, and hand it back over to your offense, which found a lot of rhythm in that second quarter.
Odom, 5 total touchdowns on the season. The backup quarterback started the first 2 games, and here he starts game number 4. He looks at a 3rd down and long from midfield.
And we talked about winning this game in the trenches. Can Cathedral get a push, or can Chatard allow the quarterback to have some time here to get off a pass?
The rare 4 wide receiver set for the Trojans. Quick throw, slant over the middle. It is caught, but will not be nearly enough as Haynes takes some contact. And we'll likely see.
I'm going for it.
Boy, Odom's going to stay on the field.
See if there's a late call to punt in here, but I think they're going to go for it.
Yeah, the offense returns. Half the offense left. They were told to turn back around, see if he can't pick up 5 yards here on 4th down.
Watch the hard count. Cathedral got Chatard on this in the first half. Let's see if there's a delayed snap.
3 of 7 on 4th down this season, the Trojan offense.
I think you try to get him to jump. If you don't, you take the 5 yards on a delay of game. Give your punter a little bit more room to pin Cathedral deep.
Here it is, 4th down and 5. They'll go for it. Airing it out down the sideline. It is
caught, but I think he's out of bounds. Let's see the call. We're going to call him in.
He had a foot inbounds. Are you kidding me? Odom, the backup quarterback, slings it down the sideline, and Harden makes the catch.
What a throw by your backup quarterback down the sideline, over the shoulder catch. Great pictures here from Troy upstairs. And wow, what a catch.
And Justin Griffith
downstairs on it too. Great job by our crew here in IndianaSRN. Wow, I think if you're Chatard, you just want to live on 3rd and 4th down. Just live on 3rd and 4th down because that's when you're moving to 6. Great job there keeping your feet in bounds.
1st down and 10 now after the 4th down conversion. Adams has it. Adams off to the races. He's got one guy to beat, brought down from behind, but he's inside the 5, and Danny Adams finally has that signature run.
Chatard making Cathedral pay for their penalties. And we have seen it all night. Penalties have taken points off the board and kept drives going. And on a 4th down and long, Chatard airs it out. On the very next play, gets a big run from Adams, and it's 1st and goal inside the 5.
Slip past that opening tackle. And now flags fly. It'll be a procedural penalty, and encroachment will give about 1.5 yards here.
Remember last week, Cathedral against St. X, we started feeling some momentum, and it was a 3rd down and long, and St. X throws a slant route for a touchdown pass, and that was about all she wrote ball game-wise.
Still plenty of time, but it kind of feels that way with a momentum
feels
shift.
Like, you can survive some of these penalties, but they eventually catch up to you, and I think that one is going to catch up to the Irish.
Look for Adams here. He takes the handoff, and he is stopped right away. The Fighting Irish stop him, but still a few more downs. You have to do it a couple more times. Adams looking for his 11th touchdown of the season.
Harden and Couch there on the pursuit, make the tackle, filled up the lanes, knocked them back. So a 2nd down and about a long 2 to get it into the end zone. And we've seen Cathedral's defense, with their backs against the wall, make stops. They're going to have to dig deep here and try to get another one.
2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Out of the pistol. Adams loves to run out of this formation. Plenty of big guys up front. Here's the handoff. He'll wait, and he's wrapped up from behind again. Oh, my goodness. What a stop there.
Kyle Harden, big man, getting in there, making the stop for a loss back to the 9-yard line, a 7-yard loss. And we talked about you're going to have to dig deep and get a stop. There it is. Can you do it again here on 3rd down?
And Michael Pugh with his 5th tackle for loss this season. Here we go. 3rd down from inside the 5.
Big time football here tonight on IndianaSRN.
Chatard up by a score. Can they make it 2? You might have to throw the ball here. Adams the back. They will throw right away toward the corner of the end zone. The fade for Graves. It's incomplete.
Too much on the throw. And I believe you bring the, let's see, they haven't brought anybody on yet.
I want to go up 2 scores.
Yeah, you have to go up 2 scores. Although, Nathaniel, we have seen a missed extra point, and not only was it a missed extra point, it was 2. He missed 1, and then there was an offsides penalty. And I think they're going to keep, let's see what they do. I think they're going to keep the kicking unit on the sideline.
Well, if you think about it here, you don't pick it up in Cathedral with their offense that has struggled at times, has to go 96 yards.
Yeah.
I don't mind the idea.
Yeah, and you pin them deep nonetheless.
Harrison Odom, the backup quarterback, converted on 4th down a few plays ago. Can he do it for a touchdown? Pressure immediately, throws it, and it's over the head of his intended target. The running back, Adams, can't pull it in. Cathedral gets the stop it needs. Can the offense produce?
Alexander Roos there on the pursuit. Got the big glove up, forces the incompletion. And you had to dig deep if you were Cathedral. And they do, and that keeps them, Nathaniel, in this football game. Yes, they've got a long way to go to find the end zone. But a huge momentum stop there. You didn't beat yourself with penalties. You get the football back. You hand it over to Coors, who found some rhythm there to end that first half.
Coors in Dangerfield inside of their own end zone. It is the latter who takes the handoff and is stopped right away. He got back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more.
Yeah, maybe a play action here on 2nd down. Get a nice quick pass. Maybe you bring Dangerfield out of the backfield for a quick dump off. But they're stacking 8 in the box. Is Chatard. They're coming after that running game with Cathedral. Their backs against the wall here.
Pappas, the running back, he stands a couple yards behind Coors. Again, in their own end zone. Here's Pappas with the speed, and he bursts through the hole. Give him about 6.
Yeah,
it'll be 3rd and short.
Going to be just short of the 1st down, but a nice burst there out of the backfield to get some positive yardage. Give yourself some breathing room. You can really open up the playbook here on 3rd and 2.
We've seen Cathedral with 2 very long drives today. They'll need another one here. Can they convert on 3rd down? Another handoff. Pappas again, stopped from behind, but he gets enough to move the chains.
Yeah, and a heavy dose of Pappas here. Gives you some breathing room. Converts on the 3rd down and short to keep those chains moving. And this is a momentum-shifting drive here for Cathedral. Still a long way to go, but you aren't punting it out of the back of your end zone right now. Keep gaining positive yards, especially on 1st down.
Well, here's a big difference for this offense. 0 of 11 on 3rd down last year. Well, they've already done it 4 times today. Last week, that is, against St. X, no success. But today, they found a way to move the chains. Coors, this looks like a completely different quarterback. Here's another handoff. Pappas again. And he's had some success here. He'll gain 7.
Yeah, great job by the offensive line here. Tuna, the guys opening up holes, allowing the running back to get set, find the gap, get positive yardage.
Coors back up to the line. Pappas remains in at running back. Here's the handoff, the sweep, cutting it back in. Pappas finds a way to gain a couple yards. He'll move the chains again. Boy, he should have been stopped from behind.
And it's starting to get chippy. Chatard feels like their backs are against the wall. They've dominated about a quarter and a half of that first half. But now Cathedral saying, look, we're going to go on another long drive. Remember the last drive that ended in 3 points was a 6-play, I believe it was 60-plus yard drive there for Cathedral. It's starting to get a little bit chippy, but both lines doing a great job. We haven't seen a lot of holding penalties tonight.
Here's the handoff. This time it's Dangerfield. He gets enough for a 1st down. This offensive line is moving bodies.
Yeah,
and a drive that started at the 4, now they're at the 40.
I think people said at halftime, look, this starts with our line. We've got to get that rushing attack going. And so far, it's been the double-headed monster of Pappas and Dangerfield. I'm ready for a play-action throw here and let Coors air it out.
He's yet to throw past this drive. The offensive line has been certainly paving way for the running backs. This one is Dangerfield. Had 100 yards rushing last week against St. X. Man in motion is Johnson looking to throw. He does. Down the sideline into triple coverage. It's incomplete.
Yeah, looked about the second read. Might have had Pappas down the seam open. I like the play call there. Air it out a little bit. Falls incomplete. Second down coming up there. But the running game was working. Kind of caught him off guard. You can make a little bit better of a pass there, then bang.
Coors sets up his offense. Checking into the game is Ollie Lewis now in the slot. The two receiver set. Now they'll bring in a third.
Yeah, late check in here.
Late game clock. Oh, neutral zone infraction it will be. Boy, did Coors get lucky. He only had a couple ticks left before he had to snap that one.
Yeah, I just mentioned how great both lines have been. We haven't seen too many penalties called, but there a jump there on the offsides will push it forward. So a second down and short coming up here for the Cathedral Fighting Irish right in front of us here at the 45-yard line.
With how this offense has looked, you would certainly take a 2nd and 5 instead of a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, especially after a 1st and 10, you aired it out there incomplete. You know that your running backs can pick you up 5 to keep this drive rolling and move those chains.
Dangerfield, the running back, Coors out of the gun. He'll hand it off.
Quarterback keeper.
No, he'll keep this one. And Coors gets laid out, but he gets near the line again, and a flag. A late hit after Coors started his slide. This will be another free 15.
Yeah, I'd love to see this one again. I think it was there contact with the helmet? Yeah. Because I wasn't sure that was a late hit. I think it was kind of an awkward, slow-moving slide. Great job here by Jerry. These are some of the hardest
tackles to make, right?
Yeah, it's a timing play, right? Coors goes down. You're not expecting that. You're already kind of going for him. You're kind of lunging forward. You make contact with the helmet. You want to protect the quarterback. Totally get it on the flag there. But finally, for Cathedral, you have a flag go your way. Now Chatard's saying, we've got to come up with a big defensive stop here. We saw Cathedral do it on the drive. Can Chatard answer?
1st and 10. Here's the catch. Johnson makes it. He'll gain a few yards before he is driven to the ground. Hoekstra and Kennett making the tackle, but it's enough to move the chains.
Yeah, you're 4-down territory. I know you have one of the best kickers in the state of Indiana here, but you cannot settle for another field goal. You need to find the end zone here. You need to tie this one up.
Coors with Pappas behind him.
Now one-on-one coverage right here. Watch out for
Here
Ollie
goes
Lewis.
Pappas. Pappas into the secondary, and he is brought down just shy of the goal line. No, he crosses it. Jimmy Pappas scores. Cathedral a PAT from tying it up.
Big-time touchdown for the Irish. The first one since that first quarter in the opening week of high school football 3 weeks ago. My goodness, did they need it. An extra point to tie it up. We've got an injured player on the defensive line here for Chatard, but a great job there by Pappas to push it in for the end zone.
You see Cathedral student section excited for that one. It's the first touchdown we have seen from Cathedral since the opening drive of the season. The injured man gets up and runs off to the sideline, so he is good. The PAT team comes out. Van Krisloff now a chance to tie this one up. Boy, how the momentum has swung. Cathedral's defense getting the stop at the goal line. The offense marching 96 yards for that 25-yard score.
Yeah, got to get an extra blocker out there if you're Cathedral for this extra point. This very important extra point. We saw Chatard miss one in that first quarter on an 8-play, 96-yard drive, 3 minutes and 37 seconds.
And there is the PAT successful. We're tied up when we return IndianaSRN.
Got ourselves a football game.
A great lawn starts with the right equipment. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we're here to help you make mowing easier and more enjoyable. From zero turns to lawn tractors, John Deere mowers give you the power, precision, and comfort to get the job done right. Plus, with expert service and support from Reynolds, you can spend less time worrying about your mower and more time enjoying the results. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
What's the two winningest schools in Indiana State Tournament history? Battling from the Selleck Bowl at Butler University, and boy, is it a battle. As Van Krisloff prepares to kick this one away after Cathedral. 12 plays, 96 yards, and a touchdown. Van Krisloff puts this into the back of the end zone, and we'll see Chatard with a full 80 yards of green in front of it, needing a score like you couldn't imagine.
Yeah, 96 yards on that drive. It started with the 4th down stop and the turnover on downs to put Cathedral's offense back on the field
Look
for
at Pappas here.
The first time in the half, and then Pappas finishes it off here. A heavy dose of both Pappas and Dangerfield rushing the football on that drive, and all of a sudden it is 13 unanswered points for the Cathedral Fighting Irish, and we've got a dogfight for the remainder of this contest with $1:59 to go in the third quarter.
How about that dive for the end zone, too? You slip past 3 tackles, the final one nearly brings you down, and you Superman your way across the goal line. Here it is for Harrison Odom, the backup quarterback. He started today, and now he hands it off to Danny Adams, who has really struggled to find much room. Not to his fault. It has been a stout defensive line.
Yeah, Cathedral's done a great job of stopping the run, making adjustments to Chatard's offense. And as you mentioned, you take away a few penalties that were huge, 4 of them to be exact, and this is a different ball game. Nonetheless, 13-13. Coach Doyle has everything in his playbook heading into the fourth quarter here. You don't have to run the football. You don't have to pass it. You just do what works, and right now it's been the rushing game. Let's see if they can continue to do that. No need to hurry here.
2nd and long out of the pistol. It's a run look, but they'll run play action out of it. On the move, Odom throws it downfield, and it is caught. How about that one from Cam Harden? Catchless last week. He's got a few today, and it moves the chains.
Yeah, Harden was there waiting, and that football probably felt like it wasn't going to get to him. Almost intercepted on the late throw, but a nice job of moving the sticks, not taking the sack, and moving the chains forward.
Never seen a team dominate the first half the way Chatard did, and now you're tied. Just one drive into the second. I mean, it's been impressive from Cathedral hanging on in this one. Now we're tied.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Cathedral has answered the bell. Now can Chatard answer back and take this lead?
Odom out of the pistol, just a 2-receiver look. He'll hand it off as he does so often, and coughed up again.
Yeah, and
he'll lose a yard.
This push defensively for Cathedral has not allowed Adams to really get going here in this second half, and it really started late in that second quarter. And a nice pursuit there by Pugh to get the tackle and push back. Now Chatard's thinking, all right, they're stopping the running game, 2nd and long. Do we open up and try to find some passing downfield, which they've been good at so far this evening?
This game started a punt from Cathedral. In fact, a pair of those and a pair of touchdowns from Chatard, but since then it has been all Fighting Irish. Certainly a chance to buck that trend as Harrison Odom with an empty look, and we'll see flags fly.
Like some movement from the delay of game.
Second time we've seen that today, and you'd think with these bright clocks at this college campus at the Selleck Bowl, you'd be able to see the time.
Yeah, that's tough, right? Because now it's a 2nd and 15. And this is a Chatard offense that has struggled here in this third quarter. Well, I'm sorry, did very well to get down inside of the 10-yard line.
Odom looks to throw again. He's got pressure in his face. He gets rid of it.
Yeah.
Just had to throw it away as he is knocked to the deck.
Yeah, big-time pressure there on the edge from Pugh. And again, it just seems like Chatard offensively is starting to kind of hit the brakes a little bit, and it's really been a defensive push here.
Look
from
at that
Cathedral.
swim move from Pugh as he set the edge. That was impressive. And a nice shot there from our sideline cameraman, Justin Griffiths. Troy Darengowski up above us. Jerry Collins sits to our left. Tony Donahue to my right. I'm Nathaniel Finch. As it is now a 3rd down and very long for the backup quarterback, Harrison Odom and the Trojans.
One-on-one coverage to chase here. They're going to look
there
for
it is, down the sideline. It is incomplete. No flags. We'll see the punt team come out again.
Yeah, Cathedral's defense really stepping up here. And yes, as much as people's going to be upset about the penalty flags we've seen, the defense has really stepped up and really for about 2+ quarters here is pitching a shutout.
Now out to punt for the 2nd time today is Patrick Belby. Boy, he came into this game with just 3 punts altogether. That shows you how strong Cathedral's been defensively. Belby gives it a boot, end-over-end kick, and it'll be picked up by Freegee just inside of his own 40. And now a chance for Cathedral to take the lead, something they haven't had since it was 8-0 to start the season against Ben Davis.
Yeah. Pretty even game so far, right? Chatard got off to that big start with that opening drive to go up 7-0, then 13-0 with 9:39 to play, and then that 6-minute, 39-yard drive offensively for Cathedral kind of started to turn the momentum around. Their defense got off the football field late in that 2nd quarter, which led to a field goal, which got us a 13-6 at halftime, and then that touchdown on the last drive tied it up. And
Here's the handoff as Dangerfield gains a few on 1st down. Certainly like to see that if you're an Irish fan. He'll gain 7.
We'll head to the 4th.
IndianaSRN.
Poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew. Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh main lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles.
She's fine. She's fine. Your waffles, milady.
It matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
2nd down and short after the Dangerfield 1st down run. He stays in at running back, and boy, is this a close one. The 2 winningest schools in state tournament history, and they battle right now, tied heading into the 4th. Dangerfield again. No, it's play action. And how about this? A catch and run to move the chains.
Yeah, nice throw there. Set yourself up on the play action, which has been set up, as they did on their last drive, by the running game. So nice job there coming out of the end of the quarter to roll out and pick up enough for a 1st down.
Scout Bouchon with his 2nd catch of the game, 2nd of the season for that matter. As now the Fighting Irish across midfield here at the Selleck Bowl. Another tough run on 1st down. It's 1st and 5, rather 2nd and 5. And Tony, this offense looks completely different from what we've seen of late.
Yeah, Nathaniel, we talked about one of the keys to tonight's game was getting positive yards on 1st and 2nd down for Cathedral, something they weren't able to do against St. X last week, something they really weren't able to do in the 1st quarter of this contest. But since then, they have been positive, both throwing the football and passing. Chatard now, defense back against the wall. Cathedral goes into plus territory, and you got to start to think, you know, if you're Chatard.
Coors with the throw. This is a catch and run for Van Viersen to move the sticks.
Yeah, and another quick pitch and catch right there. You just get to the sticks, turn, catch the football. Oh, haven't been contacted yet. Let's turn it upfield for a pickup.
Inside the 30-yard line. And boy, how big is this for this offense? A chance to take the lead now. Inside field goal range for Van Krisloff. Here's the handoff, of course, wanting more. Pappas, who just scored his 1st touchdown of the season, gets stopped right away.
Start to think here, Nathaniel, the team with the football last might have the opportunity to get the W here tonight. It would be big for Cathedral coming back from 13 points down. The Chatard team had dominated that first quarter, both offensively and defensively.
And I'll tell you what, I know the level of talent's a little different, but Cathedral looked dead in the water against St. Xavier last week. Chatard was unstoppable against Roncalli. This has been a fun one.
Dropped.
Oh, that one incomplete. The intended target was Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson tried to come back for it, but his momentum took him to the turf, wasn't able to complete the pass. So a 3rd down and 9. From here, you're probably looking at a 45-yard field goal, which is obviously in Krisilov's range.
His longest is 46. Yeah, you think here maybe play conservative and just gain a couple of yards, make life a little bit easier on your all-state kicker.
Maybe a delayed draw. Maybe if your first read isn't there, to a wide out.
Looking to throw right away down toward the boundary. It's incomplete. And now we will see that very long field goal attempt from Van Krislov as the offense stalls.
45-yard attempt. The Eastern Michigan commit with an opportunity to give Cathedral its first lead in a few weeks.
He has converted 4 field goals so far this season, 2 today, and here's Van Krislov with the weight of the world on his shoulders here early in this 4th quarter. The 45-yard field goal.
Bit of a high snap.
Boy, he just got taken out. The field goal was good, but guess what? Another killer penalty. This time it'll go against the Trojans.
Well, he buried it, that's for sure. But the drive will stay alive. So what killed Cathedral in that first half, Chatard comes back with a running into the kicker, and that's going to keep this drive going. It was a beautiful shot. Krisilov buried that bad boy. But with the penalty, the drive will continue.
And how often have we seen Cathedral's defense make that mistake? Now Chatard a little overzealous trying to block the kick.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, right, where you know that he's probably going to make the field goal. And the only opportunity you have is to block it and to bring the house to try to get a block and maybe a play going the other way. But this keeps the drive going, and now Cathedral, instead of putting 3 up on the board, will have a great opportunity here to get 7.
So you saw Eric Snyder say just a moment ago, it is indeed roughing the kicker, a 3-15 and a first down. And now this offense, a second chance inside the 15. So if you're Cathedral's defense, rather Chatard's defense here, you finally get the stop, but that has got to be demoralizing. See if you can do it again.
Yeah, and Cathedral knows all about that, right, with the running into the punter early in that first quarter. But now inside of the 15-yard line, you have to capitalize here for the Irish.
A heavy run set. Handoff goes to Dangerfield, who bounces it to the outside. He is still on his feet. He'll gain 10 yards and move the chains.
Yeah, keeps it churning there. Bounces off one tackler, gets the edge, and brings it down right around the 5-yard line.
That might be a foot or two shy of the line to gain. So it'll be second down and a couple feet. Staying in is Dangerfield. He's looking for his first touchdown of the season. He had 16 of them last year. Here he goes, Dangerfield running across the goal line. And Cathedral, boy, what a team this has turned into.
Hey, shout out Tuna, Caden Martin opening up that hole. And it's 19, more than likely to be 20 unanswered points here for the Cathedral Fighting Irish.
Cathedral had not scored a touchdown since its opening drive. It had not held a lead since the first game of the season. Both of those have been shattered, as now the Irish await to take this 7-point lead with a PAT from Van Krislov, who had a 45-yard field goal made, but the roughing the kicker wiped it off. 2 plays later, it's a touchdown. PAT successful. We had to break. IndianaSRN.
Who scored that? Was it Dangerfield or?
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Well, it's a 9-play scoring drive for Cathedral, who takes its first lead since game 1 over Chatard, the number 1 team in 4A.
Now you can barrel roll onto the field.
That's right. You score a touchdown, you take the lead. It is a 5-yard rushing touchdown from Xavier Dangerfield, who scores for the first time this season. And it has been all Cathedral of late. This one brought to you by Officially Human. Our mission to restore respect for game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and the court. Do your part. Practice good sportsmanship. No officials, no game. Van Christloff buried a 45-yard field goal. Boy, that one would have been good from 55 plus, but it was wiped off the board because of the roughing the kicker penalty. New life for Cathedral. Scores for the second straight time into the end zone, and now we'll see the response from Chatard. Let's take a look at this Dangerfield rushing touchdown. He is just lightning quick.
Plenty of room there. Holes opened up for the end zone. The offensive line has done a great job here. For the first time this year, Chatard back against the wall, trailing by 7. They haven't scored since, I believe, the 9:39 mark of that second quarter.
Beautiful shot there.
Can they go for a drive and tie this thing up? Backs against the wall, backup quarterback. Trojans with an opportunity to drive down and tie this up. 9:31 to go.
The rare 5-receiver set for Harrison Odom. You mentioned the backup, but he came in and started this game in place of Jack Harrington. It's his 3rd start of the season. And he's got 80 yards of green in front of him here at the Selleck Bowl. Butler University, here comes the first down throw. It is complete, and it is Harden, it appears. No, Graves makes the catch, no gain 5.
Yeah, a little bit more zip on that pass next time. Seemed like it took forever to get to the intended target. You throw one of those again, it might be the other way for a pick 6. But, you know, as we talked about for Chatard, you know, still plenty of time left. Stick to your game plan. The running game is what got you here. You don't have to throw every time, but it looks like they're going to line up here again, 4-wide set.
Don't see this very often from Rob Doyle's offense, but no running back. Odom looks to throw. He's got time. Now the pocket collapses. He'll throw, and it's incomplete. We'll see 3rd down and short. This one brought to you by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry, your independent agent, proudly representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Call today, 317-894-7000. For coverage tomorrow.
Yeah, and again, you're just running for your life there, basically. Had a couple open receivers, hung on to the football, and last second threw it across his body, which led to the incompletion. So a 3rd and 5 here. Let's see if they go back to Old Reliable and Danny Adams, number 4.
The team that only punted 3 times coming into this game has punted on 2 of its last 3 drives. We'll see if it's a 3rd one. Here's the throw, incomplete, and sure enough, the punt team will come out. Another unsuccessful drive for the Trojans, who scored touchdowns on their first 2.
Yeah, another open receiver, but not an opportunity to set your feet and throw the football. On the run, thrown across your body, leads to the incompletion, and a 4th and 5. Chatard will be forced to punt, and Cathedral is thinking if we get 7 here, we are 100% in the catbird seat.
And how about the fact that Danny Adams didn't line up in the backfield once there? They continued to go empty. They continued to throw the football. That is not the MO of Rob Doyle, and it backfired. It took just 45 seconds off the clock with that 3 and out.
Yeah, and when you look at it, you obviously have a backup quarterback in. Your second string is in right now. It has been the entire game. Sometimes that throws some of the timing off. And again, when the plays have worked, Rob Doyle's play calling has worked. They just haven't been able to execute. They haven't been able to execute some of these 5 to 10 yard passes, which keep drives going.
After the defense forces the 3 and out, the offense comes out with great starting field position. We'll see what Cam Coors can do. Boy, has he heated up of late. After struggling the last couple of games, he's been on fire. Here's the handoff, and the run success continues as Pappas gets the first down.
Yeah, nice patient run there. Juke jived his way past the 50-yard line into plus territory and moved the sticks. I think you're going to see a heavy dosage of the run game here if you're Cathedral.
Pappas over 20 carries today. Here's another one for him as he makes another cut.
lost
and
it.
he
Ball
loses
loose.
the ball. Who gets on
Chatard
that?
has it.
My goodness, the Trojans with another chance after forcing the first turnover today.
Wow. We talked about, is there going to be a turnover? Is somebody going to cough the football up and steal a possession here? Major play there by Chatard. We'll get another look at it. It was going to be just short of the first down, around the 40, but the ball squirts loose, and Chatard hops on it.
And now if you're the offense of the Trojans with Jack Harrington into the game.
Yep.
So the starting quarterback of the last 2 years for Chatard missed the first 2 games, and he did not start today. Harrison Odom in instead of him, but now he comes in a high leverage moment, and we'll see if he can lead this offense.
I asked why he wasn't playing, and I was not told. They told me that they were not going to tell me, so
clearly not injury related. So he'll take the handoff, or rather the quarterback keeper here. He'll gain 5 yards and then some, and how about the impact he's had coming in at quarterback?
Yeah, this is huge. Obviously that last possession, it was a couple incomplete passes on the run, and now you bring your starting quarterback into the football game, and we'll see if he is able to turn this around for the Chatard Trojans. This is huge right here. This is what you live for, high school football, and you certainly live for it if you've been standing there on the sideline watching everybody else go out there and play. Jack Harrington's ready to roll.
Always a great rivalry between these two teams. The 51st meeting. Cathedral's won 30 of them. But Chatard trying to come back in this one. Here goes Harrington. He's mobile. He's elusive. And he gets just a yard shy of what was needed to move the chains. He'll be at midfield.
And protect that football, right?
Yeah.
You get hit from behind pretty hard like that. You want to make sure that you hold on to the football. Don't cough it back up like Cathedral did. And now Chatard with plenty of time on the clock, eyeing to tie this one up.
3rd down and 1. From here, with this time left on the clock, probably 4 down territory.
Yeah, watch for the hard count.
I'd be surprised if they don't hand it off here to Danny Adams, the star running back. To the right of Jack Harrington. No, it's a quarterback keeper again. He's done everything this drive, and he moves the sticks himself.
Somebody say fresh legs.
Yeah,
Checks
absolutely.
In. I'm sure he's been chomping at the bits for whatever reason. Did not play in that first half. Did not play in the third quarter. And now all of a sudden he's in. He's fired up. He's ready to go.
And he'll get the call from Rob Doyle. He has just brought in a completely new set of momentum here for the Trojans. This looks like a completely different offense, probably because it is the starting quarterback back into the game.
Yeah, into plus territory here. Plenty of time on the clock. Lone backfield here.
A 4-receiver set here for Harrington. He's run it 4 straight times, and this time he rifles it in, but the laser is dropped. It is incomplete.
Yeah, and Haynes had it. Bounces off of his chest, a perfectly thrown ball. And sometimes, Nathaniel, when you're out there, you just start hearing footsteps and you know you're about to take a hit. Sometimes you got to complete the catch first.
Chatard ranked number 1 on our Class 4A SRN poll. That one brought to you by Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else? If you're looking for fresh, amazing food and servers who truly care about your experience, you've got to try Aspen Creek Grill. 2nd down and 10 for Harrington, with some new life for the Trojans at the Selleck Bowl. Here's the first throw, and it is caught. And now look at this, making a move. That's Brooke Haynes, who gets a nice gain there.
I love it. Coach Doyle going right back to Haynes after that drop. Had a lead blocker kind of get in his way, but looked downfield, made a few guys miss, and that's going to come up for about a 7-yard pickup there, under 6 minutes to go here in this fourth quarter.
Harrington barks out the orders. He'll stand out of the gun with Adams to his right. Again, a 3-receiver set for an offense with new life. Late in this one at Butler University. Chatard seeing if they can go down and tie this one up against rival Cathedral. Here's Harrington, who just changed the play. He'll keep this one himself. Patient. Stops, lowers his shoulder, moves the chains. Pick up on 3rd down.
Enough for a first down, as you mentioned. Patient running there. Might have had the edge. Decides to cut it back. And that's what you're thinking right there on 3rd and 3. Just move the sticks. Just continue this drive.
This offense so good on 3rd down, over 57% on the season, and they continue that here.
So you keep the chains moving. 5:15 to go. Plenty of time. And I think the perfect scenario here, Nathaniel, is you want to get 6 no matter what. But if you could chop off 2-3 more minutes before you punch this thing in, and it's 20-20, you don't really give Cathedral an opportunity, we might have some fun in overtime.
Faking the handoff, looking to throw, and he does so to nobody, out of bounds. Took a big shot, too, to Harrington. We'll see. Second down and 10.
He was looking deep, but I think the contact there made that a wobbler, and luckily nobody in the area of where that football went, because you throw something up like that, 8, 9, 10 times, that's going to get picked off.
It's the 8th play of this drive. Second down and 10 in enemy territory, knocking on field goal range, but probably not quite yet. Harrington will stop and give some more commands to the offensive line. Adams to his right has struggled to find some running lanes. Inside of 5 minutes to go. Quick throw. It's the screen. It's caught by Graves. Graves with some room as he gets about 10 yards. He'll be maybe a yard shy of the line to gain.
Cam Harden, the wide receiver, out front, holding his man, holding the block, which allowed enough on the gain to, I believe, get close to the sticks, but it's going to be 3rd down and 1, and obviously, as we know, 4 down territory here.
Graves with quadruple the amount of targets as anybody else on this team for good reason.
Comes down to the line. Can Cathedral get a push?
Harrington out of the gun, tries to get some movement in the neutral zone. He was close.
We'll see if they hand it off to Adams here. That's what I would do, but he could be that extra blocker.
Here it is. Adams has it. Adams off to the races. He makes a cut. He cannot be denied. Danny Adams. Wow. A PAT away from tying this game up with a big-time run.
And a very, very important PAT. And I think you'll see if you're Chatard and you're head coach Doyle, you're pulling on the side and you're going to say, look, you had some problems there. We didn't let you kick it in the 3rd quarter, but this is big time here to tie this one up.
A 9-play, 5-minute, 59-yard drive. And if this one from Pato Gallardo is successful, we'll be tied with 4 minutes to go.
Big time drive there for Chatard off the turnover. Big time extra point here.
Odom holds. Bearzal to snap. This one pure. And we're tied up at the Selleck Bowl on IndianaSRN.
Wow. What do we call that?
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We consider it a privilege to have you as one of our listeners and viewers. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get them.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the...
It's the game of the week on IndianaSRN between the two winningest schools in state tournament history. How about this, a Week 4 classic from the Selleck Bowl. This one delivering all of the promises. Cathedral will have 4 minutes to march down the field as it has so often today. With an all-state kicker and a chance to win the game, this one couldn't end any better. Here's the foot from Gallardo, and it will be a long kickoff return. Here with the edge and a chance to return this one, ripped down from behind. On the return there was Ollie Lewis, and boy, a good play on special teams from Chatard.
Yeah, great kick there. Fielded right at the goal line.
Take a look at this. 26-yard score. Danny Adams, who had been stopped so often this drive, cannot be denied.
Yeah, great hole there. Cut back, breaks the tackle, and into the end zone he goes. Both teams with 3 timeouts. 3:52 to go, tied up at 20. Nathaniel, I think we've had about 3 or 4 different games here blocked into one.
Last time out, Cathedral fumbled the ball 2 plays in. Certainly need to hang on to it here. Dangerfield with the run.
And I think you want to get it to your 30-yard line to give Kristoloff a chance from about 47. Maybe you flirt with a 50-yarder, but you got to get across midfield first here if you're Cathedral.
They hit one from 45 as long as 46, and a 45-yarder although it didn't count because of the penalty. In fact, helped Cathedral scoring a touchdown a couple plays later, but that one would have been good from 50-plus. He has an absolute cannon of a leg headed to Eastern Michigan next year.
Yeah, and Chatard tying it up on that touchdown. Points off of the penalty.
Here is the end around and ripped down right away. Ayers has nowhere to go.
You think about maybe taking a timeout here for Chatard and make sure your defense is set up for a big third down with under 3 minutes to play.
And then you give yourself plenty of time. You have 3 timeouts. Why not? I'm surprised that
a little too late now.
Isn't. I'll tell you what, the end of the first half, would have thought we would have seen a couple more timeouts. We didn't until later. These coaches holding on to them like gold.
We'll see if they decide to go to the air here on 3rd and 8.
Looking to throw. Coors flushed out of the pocket. He can take off and run if he wants. Instead, he throws it. That looked incomplete.
Yeah, that looked like it bounced off the turf.
We'll get another look at this one, I'm sure.
Yeah, Coors was rolling out, and again, throwing across his body. And I think it just was short, and it was. Bounces off of the turf. Clock stops with 2:34 to go.
A huge 3-and-out. Like you said, we've seen so many different games wrapped up into one. Look at that, just barely bounces. That would have been a first down and a lot of momentum. We've seen the Cathedral offense of old where they've struggled, they've punted the ball. Then we saw them light on fire, and then now it's back to a pair of failed drives.
Big return opportunity here. High kick. Great kick by Kristoloff.
Fair catch called for by Adams. The drive will start at the 38-yard line. This one brought to you by Wheeler Mission. For over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar of the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. Can you volunteer today? Call 317-686-6239. A thriller in front of us at the Selleck Bowl. Tony Donahue.
Yeah, and look, if you're Chatard, you seem like you've given this game up a few times. Then your defense steps up, gets that turnover, and leads your offense to a touchdown. Now your defense once again steps up. 3-and-out for Cathedral. You've got 2:28, all 3 of your timeouts. Plenty of time here, and you got your starting quarterback back.
Jack Harrington did not play the first 2 games, nor the first 3 quarters, but he is in for the 4th when it matters most, and he'll gain about 6 yards on first down. We have seen him run the ball so well today.
Yeah, and he is strong, and we talked about fresh legs. He missed the entire first half and all of the 3rd quarter as well. So you've got your leader back in. You've got your entire playbook at your arsenal. As long as you're going and moving that football positively, you want to keep this drive going and maybe set yourself up for a field goal. I think you don't have Kristoloff, that's for sure. So you want to get this down to the 20 if you're going to try to set yourself up for a field goal.
Yeah, 36 is the long. That would be at the 21-yard line. Here is the quarterback keeper again on the read option, and about 1.5 yards gain by Harrington.
Yeah.
Man, how about the story there? Coach's decision, did not play for 3 quarters, and when his team needed him most, he comes in, and he tied this game up. He's trying to do more. Yeah. As long as you hold on to the ball, worst that happens is overtime.
Yeah, that's exactly it right here if you're Chatard. You see what you can get here on a 3rd down, but you want to let that clock run. Obviously, if there's a stop here, Cathedral's going to call a timeout.
3rd down and 3 yards near midfield at the Selleck Bowl.
I think you keep it on the ground here.
Harrington leading the Trojans offense. He does. Hands it off to Adams, who is stopped from behind. Oh my goodness, Michael Pugh does it again. His 3rd tackle for loss today.
And Coach Peebles gets a timeout.
And we'll step aside as well. 1 minute to go with the Selleck Bowl. It's a thriller on IndianaSRN.
It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
Are they going to go for it?
With Tony Donahue, I'm Nathaniel Finch from the Selleck Bowl. And going for it on 4th down and 3. This could absolutely end the game here.
Watch the hard count.
If Cathedral can get a stop.
Watch the hard count. Maybe you're okay with taking a delay of game, right? Give your punter an extra 5 yards. We saw this early in that first half.
I'd be surprised if they actually went for it here. But they line up to do so. Harrington trying to draw this defense offside. They're not going to go for it. I mean, if you didn't pick it up there, Tony, Cathedral would be 10 yards away from field goal range.
Yeah, and you know what? I like it, though. I like it out of Coach Doyle. You say, hey, look, we've got them to jump once. They've got us to jump once. Maybe we can steal a first down here on 4th and 3. Nonetheless, you take the penalty. Give your punter a little bit more room to boot this thing inside of the 20.
This one is brought to you by LifeWise Academy, programs supporting educators and communities by improving student outcomes. With LifeWise Academy, your community can bring biblical values back into the classroom. Call today, 614-367-5767. A thriller from the Selleck Bowl on a beautiful Friday night in Indianapolis. Tony, we couldn't have asked for a better game.
Yeah, resiliency on both sides. Cathedral finds himself down 13-0. Defense steps up, quits committing penalties, and now you're going to have an opportunity with the best kicker in the state to maybe drive down and give him an opportunity to win in rival. Oh, wow, it's blocked!
This one is blocked. It goes out of bounds, and already nearly in field goal range is Cathedral. Oh, my goodness, what a play by the Fighting Irish. Yes. You have a minute to gain about 10 yards.
So the snap was low, bounces off the turf, kind of bobbled it and just booted it. It gets blocked at the line of scrimmage, spins out of bounds, and a huge special teams play for the Cathedral. Fighting Irish, 1:01 to go. They find themselves with the football on the 45-yard line and all 3 timeouts. That is huge.
It is Chatard who has blocked 3 punts this season, but how about Cathedral getting it when it mattered most? And take another look as you saw at that one. My goodness.
Yeah, I believe it bounces off the turf, and then it's just a jailbreak to try to get it off.
So all Cathedral really needs to do with an all-state kicker is gain about 10 yards to give yourself a chance to ice this one. As Dangerfield takes the rush, he'll gain about 3.
Yeah, to the 33-yard line.
Take a look at this blocked punt.
Yeah, and I think he bobbles the snap right here. He sure does. And then he kicks it off the turf. And off a face mask. Man, you think about an awesome game like this coming down to the final minute here, and a play like that could decide the difference between a victory and going home, and having an opportunity for your defense. So not out of it here. Chatard has the ability defensively to step up. It's a 49-yard field goal from here. Obviously, we know that's Chris Oloff's range as he goes out there to get a good look at it. If you're Chatard, you're bringing that rush.
You see the QR code on your screen. It's your chance to support high school and college athletics across Indiana while putting your business in front of thousands of loyal viewers each week. Contact Coach at IndianaSRN.org right now to become a sponsor or to donate. And what a game we have here at the Selleck Bowl with Tony Donahue. I'm Nathaniel Finch and all of our crew at IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
I believe our buddy Johnny Harrell said this was going to be 24-21 in favor of Cathedral. He's going to be almost dead on here if they can convert it.
Cam Kors will take off and run. The turf monster get him, and he'll stay alive for a little bit. But, boy, that could have been a much bigger gain if he didn't trip himself up.
Yeah, and I don't know why Chatard isn't taking a timeout here on 3rd down. Give yourself some clock back. Interesting.
Yeah, again, somebody needs to tell these head coaches you don't get to take these timeouts home.
5-second differential.
Here it is. Nearly fumbled. Dangerfield has it. He'll be stopped. Now the timeout will come. And again, you could have saved yourself another 15 seconds. I mean, the clock's still rolling.
Yeah.
I guess they're just going to play for overtime here. No, there it is.
I mean, you're going to line up to kick the field goal.
Timeout called by the Chatard Trojans.
And that is a timeout that should have been taken 20 seconds ago.
Yeah. Tony, this is going to be a 46-yard field goal. Take a guess what Chris Loft's season long is.
Right there.
46 yards. He hit a 45-yarder earlier today. You can't script this one better. The All-State kicker is headed to Eastern Michigan to play Division I football a year from now. And right now, a chance to give Cathedral its 2nd win of the season.
And I'm assuming Chris Oloff told him, I want it on that left hash. That's where I'm comfortable with. If he wanted it straight down the pipe, they probably would have ran it straight down the pipe. If you're Chatard, you're going to leave. You're going to get the football back with 6 seconds and only one timeout, as opposed to probably 25 seconds because you got the third down stop.
Yeah, the defense did its job with a 3-and-out, and now if this one's made, there's only going to be about 7 seconds on the clock and then a squib kick. I mean, that's...
You probably would have had 28-29. Big time here from Krisiloff.
Can he give the Fighting Irish the lead? The hold is good. The kick is up. It's got plenty of leg. And it's money. That is money from Van Krisiloff, one of the best kickers in the state of Indiana.
Call him up, Notre Dame.
Headed to Eastern Michigan next season. He splits the pipes, and boy, do we have a ball game.
Big time there for Cathedral. They cough up the football, and the defense has absolutely stepped up here in the second half, and the offense has delivered as well. A huge field goal.
Yeah, take a look at this. 55 seconds elapsed off the clock, too. That's big because, Tony, we've talked about it. If the timeout was called after the third down and the second down stop, this would be a much different story. But now all you need is a squib, kill some time, and that's it.
And effortless. That field goal looks so effortless. I mean, crunch time against your rival. You buried 2 last week, and a 46-yard right through the uprights for Krisiloff. What a kick. Whew. Yeah, you squib it here. 9 seconds.
Remember, this is a 13-0 ball game from Chatard after just 2 drives. I mean, the Trojans looked unstoppable. And you force a 3-and-out, you go down and kick 2 field goals to end the half. It's a tight one heading into halftime. And then Chatard on the opening drive of this half marches all the way down to the 4-yard line and is stopped right there. But that's not it. Then Chatard marches 96 yards to score a touchdown.
That 96-yard drive. Don't want to kick it out of bounds here.
Uh-oh, it does go out of bounds. That's best case scenario for Chatard. You'll have the ball at your own 40 and no clock elapsed. So you have a bit of a chance here. But, boy, it's going to take a miracle from Jack Harrington in this Trojan squad.
Yeah, maybe a quick 5 to 6 yard out route, call that final timeout, and just chuck it deep.
That drive started because of the blocked punt.
Yep.
I mean, we cannot write this up any better. Was the first time that either team had started in enemy territory. How about that?
What a game. Both defenses have played well. Coors has made some big throws tonight.
And here's the last-ditch effort from Rob Doyle's offense. Harrington will step back. With pressure, he can't see.
Go down.
And Adams has it. Adams with some room. He needs to get out of bounds, and he does.
Yeah.
So you get near midfield, and here's a one last heave at it.
I'm assuming that Harrington has the arm to do it. If somebody else does, you get him out there. Take the final time out here, and it's going to be Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary time.
This thriller of a football game from the Selleck Bowl is brought to you in part by Morales Group Staffing. In business to create a better future for you, your family, and the community we share. Whether you're looking for the right career or the perfect candidate, we're here to help. Call today, 317-472-7600.
What a game. Looked like it was going to be a little lopsided early with Chatard going up 13-0, but Cathedral has answered the bell. 2 of the best teams in the state of Indiana going at it, as you mentioned. The winningest teams in the state of Indiana. A rivalry. These kids grew up playing with each other, playing against each other, right down the road. Probably one of the biggest rivalries, if not the biggest in the state of Indiana. And it comes down to a D1 commit kicker putting it home from 46 yards out. Not over yet. Not over yet.
We'll see the Hail Mary here. Chatard had won 24 straight games until Cathedral knocked them off a year ago. Looking for its second straight win against this program. What a rivalry it's been. Cathedral unable to score a touchdown since the opening drive of the season, but that is no longer the case as they get 2 big touchdowns and 3 big-time field goals.
And if you're Cathedral here, bat the ball down, no pass interference, don't grab, don't try for the interception because then you tip it, bounce that thing off the turf, smack it down.
Harrington, a last-ditch effort. He does not have time. He's going to go down for a sack. Knocking him to the ground is Pugh, who again makes a big play in this offensive backfield where he's lived all game long, and Michael Pugh ices the game. Cathedral, after dropping 2 straight and looking putrid, gets back to 500 on the year with an improbable win. Coming back from down 13-0, it's the Fighting Irish victorious in this one.
What a game we had, and we do a lot of high school football games. Going to be hard-pressed to find one better than this. Down to the wire, Krisaloff puts it in from 46 yards out. The turnover by Cathedral doesn't end up costing them. Defense steps up big, and they win it in a huge win in a rivalry game for the Fighting Irish.
How about the momentum swing that came in the middle of the second quarter? It was a 3-and-out that this defense forced to go down and score the next few times. And Cathedral's offense just wakes up from an absolute dormant sleep. Again, had not scored a touchdown, hadn't had a lead since that first game in the win against Ben Davis. You were shut out against Brownsburg. You only score with 2 field goals against St. X last week. And the offense just comes alive in that second quarter and on.
Yeah,
goodness.
You mentioned that it was a 96-yard drive, which led to 3 points. And you thought to yourself going into the locker room only down 7, you really had an opportunity to play Cathedral football in the third and fourth quarter. They did that, and right down to the wire, you couldn't have asked for a better one. 2 great teams, 2 teams that are going to make a deep run in the state tournament. You couldn't have asked for a better one here tonight on IndianaSRN.
Look at Van Krisloff burying this 46-yarder. Boy, it was close, but it bounces through. And there's a reason he is the Division I All-State kicker. He put that thing in. He made it look so effortlessly. Our crew tonight, down on the sideline with those beautiful camera shots, is Justin Griffiths. Troy Darengowski above us with the game camera. Jerry Collins has been fantastic as our producer and CEO extraordinaire. Tony Donahue, what a game we just saw from the Selleck Bowl. That was amazing.
Yeah, no, it absolutely was. You know, both teams had momentum. Both teams did a great job of finding the end zone there in the late stages of this one, and it comes down to the wire. Came up to one last defensive stop. Cathedral buries the field goal from Krisaloff, and then there was not enough time left for Chatard to do anything. They get sacked on the final play. Great hard-fought battle, and a lot to be proud of on both sides of this contest.
The 2 winningest schools in Indiana State Tournament history. A Week 4 classic here from the Selleck Bowl. And the final score, Cathedral wins it by 3 over the rival Chatard, handing Rob Doyle's team its first loss of the season. Bill Peebles back to 2-2. And boy, now the Fighting Irish take off running here in the season. You get all the momentum you need to turn this year around from the Selleck Bowl at Butler. Thank you, the fans, for watching. Thanks to our entire crew at IndianaSRN. Celebrate if you are a Fighting Irish fan. I'm Nathaniel Finch saying so long from Butler University.